Good evening. We are in welcome to this evening. It's 4 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alfonso Zienso from the Liberia Public Radio. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Just take a ride with me for welcome to this evening. This is the Liberia Public Radio, and I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio right here this evening. Time check is 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Gala, senior analyst, is in the building, and of course, Madam Sebahas. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Joe Boyan, Ton Boisier, and Americanto Henry Johnson is marching on. We are here this evening. I'm Alfonso Zienso. We want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much. Good evening. Good morning, Dr. Toto. I'm not sure whether you are here. You're still back now. But notwithstanding, the link is also out there. If you are still in Liberia, you'll be the good person to really get all that is happening. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We will get this program going very shortly here. A lot is unfolding. We need to have these conversations. They are consequential. They are important. It is a matter of a must, and let us not be personal, because all views, all sides must be heard. It's about the country, it's about your country, and no one has the dominion to assess authority. Duado is marching on. Good evening. The talking point is on, and we will be having a conversation here. Hopefully, the analysts are going to be joining us. 161 days to go. Who will be in charge of the overall office? We will be having a conversation. So welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Zienso. Good evening. Welcome. I am not a Barrow guy. I am not a fan of Matty Barrow, but I do not know why I decided to go rare here this evening. It means there is no holding back. Too much is unfolding. Who can run? Run. Who can run? Stay. Do not bring your feelings here. We do not discuss people's personal feelings, their sentiment, their political taste, what they intend or want to hear. We are talking about a sovereign nation, a country with a diverse, yes, we are a little bit small or tiny, I do understand. But just think about it. You have a guy from Grand Jita, one from Rofa, one from Mangigbi, another man from Nima, another man from Grand Cape Mount, Sino, Maryland. And you put them in the room and you telling them not to speak English. They should speak their vernacular or their dialect. But you want them to have a meeting to come to a resolution. Imagine how terrible would that be. In fact, who's going to be the chairperson of that conference, that meeting? I imagine hot coffee, like how it was splashed in the face of Senator Ty Joseph for Samson's sister, Nyombli Kanga Lawrence. That could possibly happen. We can take Liberia for that. A country with a diverse background. How many dialects, tribe, counties? And we are talking about the survival of the country. And so when you bring your personal feelings here, and you're not taking a holistic approach as to how the country should survive, how people should govern, what are the priorities of the country, and you decided to be politically correct, there's no guarantee we're going to be on the same boat. That's the talking point of the liberal on this network and other folks, like the ANC Amos George. They must have it, and it is fine. They are trying hard to indoctrinate the guy from Minnesota, other folks from New Jersey, and all of that. That's what they are doing on this network. But I'm going to stand up to these people because why? They have a side. So they are not neutral into these conversations. They will always push their line because they are talking. They have a political interest. I am the guy that is standing for you. But the liberal is in the tendency always to label people as folks from the extreme. No. I stand up for what is right. That's my opinion. That's my view. And I can adequately argument that case why I'm taking the decision that I'm taking. I decided not to take a decision. I used to be heavily involved. But as a chief angle and head of this network, we must conduct ourselves in a different share, different context in order to allow others who are participating in the process to express their ideas, their visions. And we must make it proportionate, and that's exactly what we are doing. If I come out here, or if I go to any political institution rather sitting on the platform to face the viewers and cameras capture me, what is the connotations? What would be the soundbite coming from out of that? Or if I do one, I must be able to do all. And there must be a reason. And that's the sacrifice we are making. And we do understand the risk, the consequences, and the price involved. In the politics of Liberia, if you do not take a side, it makes it difficult. You are like a wandering stranger. One day when you talk something, if it satisfies the political curiosities of the viewers, the listeners, of the folks, they cheer you up to victory. You are the redeemer. You are leading the maritime. The next day, if you take it the other side of the coin, they stigmatize you. They align you with institutions. But there are others that have to take the bull by the horn. If Liberia is to survive, we must be honest in our conversations, we must be authentic, and we must be genuine. And I'm not either saying it is wrong to take a political side. You have the right to do so. A God-given right, a constitutional right, as a person, as a human being, and who has the authority and who are qualified by the law to make your vote count. How should it be? How can it be expressed? Should you do it at the detriment of the other rights of the Liberian? Or because you have a political interest at heart? This is why it's unfolding. This is why it's unleashing. As a result, the electorates are more or less confused, do not know which way to go. When you come to LPR, you get it different. When you go to Spoon, you get it different. Closing argument, what are they closing? You get it different. When you go to Jida Hartog, Michael Gilman, you get it different. When you go to Bridge Africa, you get it different. The tone, the language, the facilitators, the angle, the spoon feedings of these politicians unwilling to hold them accountable. And most of all, the electors, the voters, their supporters, their inability to stand up for what is right for the good of the country is making the political train to derail. And we have to discuss it. According to the official news outlet of the National Election Commission, 161 days to go to make an ultimate decision, one of our lifetime decisions, where we will be electing the chief executive of the land. Not just only the chief executive, but the first branch of government, those who represent us. Whether we agree or not, they will proxy our affairs. They will make consequential decisions. They will be signing concessions without our consent, without even going back to the very constituent that empowered them. But we vote these people without asking anything, nothing. Either they are from our quarters, from our various counties, towns, or villages. And so the possibility when they get there, we're going to be a direct beneficiaries. And so we make these decisions at the detriment of other Liberians. A government should be a complete whole that should coordinate, but with different responsibilities. The executive, the judiciary, and the first branch of government. Check and balances must be provided. But because of you, or because of us, political correctness, we take these decisions. Joining us, I believe it's still in Liberia. Dr. George Toto is in the fries here this evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for being here. I'm waiting for the deliberate. And I'll be hearing from the progressive that is inside Liberia. I see people frown on the president for the dismissal of, what's his name? Kopokra. Seriously? The president appoints. He fire at his will and pleasure. If I'm a president, if you not agree with my agenda, your term of reference comes to an end. I'm Alfonso Z, and so let's get the ball rolling. So right here, our man is standing by. Let's get a show going. Good evening, welcome. I know it's going to be a kind of crazy night here, but it is what it is. Sometimes every bad soul needs a bad medicine to cure. There used to be a guy, Samson told us, he knows this guy here. In his town, you know what I used to call this? Adam. I hope I'm calling the right names. Upset. There must be a medical term. Maybe Koto or some of the nurses can help us. Rare like this jacket. That old man, when you get a cut, you get a wound. He would take Hasson. He will rub it there. Welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to have a conversation here. 161 days to go in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, and the elections is on hand. Let's do a little bit quick rendezvous here on some of the news. Also in the headlines. Oh, Sudan, 2 warrant generals agree to 7-day truce in the situations in Sudan. About 100, according to France 24, 100,000 flee across the border to neighboring countries. 150 villagers massacred in Burkina Faso. Oh my goodness. It's outrage. Let me bring in Dr. George Toto. Let's get this conversation going while we get the other folks in the making. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the show, Doug. Good evening and welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, also. Greeting to.
Is it morning time now? You still in LIB?
Yes, technically in the morning hour because no, that year I think after 11. I'm going to
Oh,
talk
okay.
midnight.
I thought you were on the president delegation to UK.
No, no, I'm not a member of the president. No.
Am I
Right.
starting to trouble you so quick?
Yeah, but I
Okay.
say in Liberia,
Oh,
enjoy
how
the
is LRB?
yeah, Liberia is okay. Despite the challenges in terms of economic condition, but Liberians are very strong people, you know, people that are very resilient, despite the numerous challenges in the country.
Hmm.
And people are still making it on a daily basis.
Yeah, they're hanging in there like a state trooper,
They,
right?
they are hanging there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people are there. So the country is okay.
All right. Let's hear from your end. A lot of information coming here, as you know. What is the what is the cardinal issue uh, on ground? And there are two things involved here. And I'm going to give my take, and you can disagree with me as what, and have you see it. What should be the conversation at this point? That's the question I'm asking. You have the ruling establishment already decided a long time, decided to go with their, oh my goodness, it is about to get ugly this evening. And I'm prepared. This is why I decided to go red this evening. You can pack your dossier, whatever you have, pack it, bring your encyclopedia here this evening. We're going to be having a conversation. So, what we should be discussing now? What should be the talking point? There seems to be a distraction. You have the ruling establishment, the president, vice president took a tour the other day. One of the main challengers, of course, in the race. Let me bring in the liberal. I do not want him to feel that I'm trying to disadvantage him. I'm not sure where. I don't know. You coming read a speech from who? Where is it coming from? It doesn't matter. It's not anything to me. So no, let me do this here. The guy will start screaming. Yeah, now let's stay like this. Or you know what? Let's just get it here. Let's see. Let me see his face. So
Why are you wearing Barrow uniform? Why are you wearing Barrow uniform?
what?
You IE man, you say. Then you wearing Barrow uniform.
There's a reason. I'm here to stand up against you here this evening. Let me just tell you right now.
Okay.
I
Good
say
evening,
I'm
Dr.
saying and I'm
Toto.
saying it.
Thank you. I've been watching you. I've been following you. I really enjoy most of your pictures coming from home. I
Yeah.
would say
Okay.
congratulations, and first of all, to go see family members, congratulations, and I know that you're probably very very happy to see old friends and the
Yeah.
old places that you used to walk, and you're walking the same area. Thank God for that. Thank
Yeah.
God for
Thank
you
you.
as well.
I was so happy man, for more than 30 years.
I know.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay. Let's talk about. I don't want this guy to bring his total conversation here. We got serious thing to talk about. So, Dr. Toto and the liberal,
Yeah.
that's a good evening. Welcome. So,
thank you.
there's a pic of the Unity Party. What we should be talking about. Your guy, Tiawan Gonglo, still hanging. We don't know what's going on. The other guy from corporate America, making presidential speeches. I don't know. I listen to it. I still try to understand the context, whether there's a cardinal issue at this point in time. We're hearing mixed reaction to other folks, ability, and other people are pushing for to be number two, whether it's true or not. But let me just bring you another ugly thing that inserted into this conversation, which I really do not want to give credence to, but it is important that we discuss this issue as to why the president of the Republic of Liberia fired Cooper Craft by attending opposition rally. But let's have a conversation here. What should be our focus at this time? There's still distraction ongoing. If you want to do a some adjustment, that's fine. I can bring in the labor. That's fine. Dr. Toto, are you okay to join in?
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm here.
So, okay, let's tell you, your guy, what's going on? What will we hear from Liberian People's Party of Councilor Tia? The Broom guy. Is the Broom dying or is he still alive?
You know, let me just have I say, let me go back to the liberal host in there. I know these people, but the people don't know me.
Do not, this guy, he's
You know,
do
I
not
know,
rely
I
on him.
know, I know these people, but these people don't know me. That's
Okay.
part. That's part of political support. But on a serious note, since since the announcement by GMB
Mhm.
to announce his running mate, it have been the bigger political bond share in Liberia. People have been discussed in every corner. In fact, when GMB made that announcement, I was in Ghana,
Oh,
I was in Nima, and
what you
like
want?
no, I was just there on a personal mission.
Okay.
I was reading the board of Gideon Liberia, you know, and
Wow.
then there was someone at the GB shop. And then when the announcement was made, right? It like you watching a football game or somebody score or go yeah, you know, happy Jerry sign the whole city, whoa,
Hmm.
the how got that sounded. And then
Wow.
in a few hours, you have some CDC supporter also to join the street of Uganda. You know. So it just tell that Nima will be a huge fight, you know, what do they call it? It would not be a grab and easy situation. That would be a huge fight. But and then coming back to Monrovia, Bon County, it's it's only JMB and his rescue to or in the rural community. And people are just talking about it. So it overshadowed all the other political players right now. And maybe that's a reason why some of them are quiet or silent on the reason I saw coming with statement. But when you tell about if we had to go to the pool tomorrow, right now the news that is trending right now is President Weah and JMB. That is that's a noise that in the corner right now. But the other political player, my political leader, J1 Congo, right now they are not they are not in the news right now. Only because of the recent announcement that been made by JMB and overshadow all political players right now. So maybe people are going into their various background, try to come up with new strategies, new ideas to see how better to come up with that with a bombshell. That's it. That's why training. And then later on again today, followed by the dismissal of the post and telecommunication minister by President we have been discussed on talk shows and to the people. And from my own personal perception to that, I think the president appoint and fire as his will. And
Period.
if I were if I was in that president condition, I would take the same stance also too, because you are a cabinet minister, you have level meetings with the president, despite discussing ethical issues and things also too. Political interest is there also too, and you are a high-ranking member of a political party. There, you expect the president to play political maturity. No, I don't support that one. People have been criticizing other media institutions, have been criticizing the president for making a decision or make comparison with Eugene
It's out
Langley.
of ignorance.
No
I
stuff
can
and things
say
like
that.
and I take serious exception to that, to be fair.
Okay. Liberal, I'm not sure whether you want to continue this program. I'm getting a message you having an emergency call. I should let you go.
There's nobody that will call me. I don't know these people. They don't know
No,
me.
I'm getting a message from the madam that you should not participate here this evening. Is that a meeting of approval?
No, I am everything. No, Dr. Toto, I also, I'm very happy for you to even be able to broadcast live from your area. I'm very happy for you. Uh, before I make my statement, I want to make it. I want to find out from you, how is this thing playing in Bond County as well?
It is playing in Bon County usually, to be frank, and 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 labor. I was not just in the car just driving by. I stopped to most of those area where mostly populated with young people, spoke to them, get their opinion on current issue. And everybody, I mean, the way in which they are speaking, because sometimes people can be deceitful, to be frank. The way in which they are expressing themselves. If they talk in to a reality, it would not be good for the CDC government, to be
So,
frank.
so, so you think what happened with CDC during the 2020 senatorial election in Musarado County, where a lot of people not just frustrated, but they took their frustrations and turned it into action? You think that we might see that this time around again, but
Oh,
on a
definitely so.
nationwide level?
Definitely so. If I all people, like I said, sometimes people can be deceitful in their talks, you know. But if I all based upon what they are there expressing, if they translate that to the ballot box, it would not be good for the CDC. And even when I, apart from Bond County, when I killed the Moravians who are there on like Ronald Street, to talk to the real guys, our disadvantage, our disadvantaged people. I hate to use the word so go on there, I suppose I call them our disadvantaged people. You see, when you see some of them, they will express their anger. They call everybody pape, they say pape. The people are frustrated or the people are deceived or they are lied to us. But we teach them lesson to the battle box, and that's what they will say, and I hope that sometimes will be their mere political job to get something other people, but
What's about the folks? So let's just take it up little Nash. I think I'll go through this is the one you just gave us, the first level, which is pretty much the bottom level. Let's go to your high school and in college, a person who is able to read and write. What do you think these people are making that? Then we can go on to your level.
oh yeah, when you come to the college students, especially the high school students, college students, but in fact, they don't even want to hear about most of them. They don't want to hear about the CDC government come with their future, especially come of the intellectual. Those that I will discuss intellectual issues of today. I mean, liberal people are frustrated. They only hope that some of the people can see, that a lot of projects going on. I mean, and the government are giving to them right now. Their their project is going on back to back from every angle. You see there, you see construction team, people working until they maybe to create impression. Someone said maybe they do it to create impression, because election coming now, they are working so hard until this thing not happened before.
Okay,
So
so
these are somebody that give them a little bit of motivation because they are
let
seeing
me
things
hold you.
happening.
Let me hold you there. The liberal, you are not, and you will not think that you're going to find your way out here and kind of cajole or manipulate and think you're going to get. You do not have the ability that to say you are in charge. Let me just say you're right.
Mr. So,
Fine
this
line.
is conversation with Samson Toe,
So
which you stole from me tonight, and I'm not here to be nice to you, and I hope I hope you will keep it like that because I'm giving you the privilege to take it the way you want it. That's fine, but I'm still in charge. Besides the show that I'm in charge of, I'm also the board chair. Oh, I mean the honor cover board chair. So let's keep it like that.
you on top of. But Dr. Toto, good observation, and of course,
Mm.
those are the views of our analysts.
Yeah,
They
those
have
are
the
the
right
views.
to
Those are
express.
views. Yeah.
So, and if you see my question here, what should be the conversation at this point? It has a sort of connection, correlation to what you are saying. Amos George, I did send the link. Let me send it again. I send it to everybody. You need to check your stuff. But the question becomes the opposition side, yeah, the CPP, whatever group, all of the folks that are contesting, are they on point? Are they having these conversations in real time? Because by this time, I strongly feel the narrative, the talking point should change now. Change in the sense of providing alternative. If we are to replace this government, the presence of these people must be felt. They must dialogue. They must have a conversation with these people. I'm not sure is it really happening, or are we assuming, Or are we making an assumption? Yeah, it is overall horrible, it's bad. Yes, indeed, there are some bad policies of this government, and for the most part, Liberians should take a decisive decision. But is that what the opposition banking on? Is that
No, the
something
one,
hold to their chest to
yeah,
say, okay, these voters going to make the decision for us without them fighting for it?
and
George, I'm sending it back. Go ahead.
and Alfonso, this is one of the frustration in the eyes of the people. Even despite GMB coming with the announcement he made, and there's a same problem in the opposition camp where it can will have to relate to one another. The personal attacks is going on within the opposition, with the ANC members, the Unity Party. Then the recent one that added onto it also too, the Henry Costa, the Henry Costa and his associate. They have the Nyomni Kanga group and associate also too. So they are all become a major component of the opposition right now. So you can see that distraction going on right now. So even if you talk to some of the people, they say, with all these things that are going on now, the opposition, it cannot get back together. Because at first it was just a CPP issue with Alexander coming, and then with GMP, but now it has widened. As I said, you had the Henry Costa factors have created also part of it. Then the Nyomi Kanga also to go for with what she and Prince Johnson encounter the few that the Prince Johnson came out the portage, for using some words against her. So if you look at all these things there, the playing field within the opposition have grown to a different level. And are they going to hold together going to October? Or are they going to just going to dismantle each other and then give citizens an upper urge? And we should give the citizens some advantage, The CSC, these people not ready to leave yet. So these are some of the distractions that are going on right now with the opposition. Yeah.
Just the distraction. But so then what is interesting, it means there is something lacking here in terms of connecting with the electorates in real time to speak to their mind, things that are really happening and why they are even in this race. And so the VP, in no questions, Unity Party is one of the main challenges to this administration. Now you have a VP pick. The question becomes, what next? That what next, it entails, if we are to quantify it, to break it down into pieces and stuff like that, something we should start seeing something happening. Perhaps it's in the making, but it must be felt immediately. That's all about politics. Your momentum should keep going. Let me bring in the liberal so you can see that I kind of put you on the side. Liberal,
Mr. So you
don't
are
know
unable
you-
to park me in the garage. Let's just put it that way quickly. I am not one of those just a biker car that can be parked in the garage. So let me say this. No, but on a very serious note, I think Dr. Toto observation is quite on point. But I also want to say this here about what I've always stated about CDC. They are unable to stand and at least be good for 1 or 2 days. The president left today to go to England. And today, two of his stewards, Senator Cheer and Albert Cheer, the president pro tem, and Gray, decided again to be like CDC, to be the real sedition, to put their foot in their mouths. Let me just read this here. And you tell me, if you can, tell me who you think he's talking to. Cheer, who is currently in Grand Crew, okay, it's interfering like brown politics. He is a foreigner and he must conform himself to his position. We don't get up, okay. If I start reading it out, you will know who he's talking about. But he said then this is why they're calling him back, because he tried to he's meddling the Liberian politics by making false statement and strengthening the opposition. Guess who he's talking to? He's talking about ambassador. statement the ambassador made almost 3 weeks ago that is dead now. We're done with it. The president going to oversee today, call for some celebration. The president becomes he looks presidential and everything, and then these two guys will now come back and bring Ambassador McCarthy statement back into the press, putting their foot in their mouths again. What was it that the ambassador said that Abachie can defend? Nothing. He sat over there in Grand Cru, where my good friend speaker is doing all of the work over there, building clinics and stuff like that. Abachie, we have not heard anything that he has done, but instead he wants to challenge the ambassador and saying that the ambassador being called back because of his meddling in Liberian politics. Well, perhaps Abachie, as a learned man, should know better than to come and make these kinds of allegations and false statement. He has nothing on the ambassador. He cannot engage the ambassador. He's just going to embarrass himself. Like Yaka Kolba said, they are thieves. They're stealing in the House of Representatives. And the ambassador just pointed that out. The ambassador said that they're feathering their nets. Is that what you're there to piss you up? You in Liberia, you're making $15,000 or more. For what? What kinds of product that you're bringing into the Liberian people that will benefit them? What kinds of law you're passing for the Liberian people that will benefit them? And
okay,
then you
so
make all that money. And I just want to put that as usual, sedition, they always like to put their foot in your mouth.
And I kind of agree with you, deliberate. It's not on the CDC. Amos George, good evening, welcome. Even the opposition does that. Their inability to keep the momentum, to coordinate, to be strategic in their messaging is lacking. Because this is why they don't want people to hold them. They have multiple people speaking for them. You cannot have an institution of such. If you have those people, they must be strategically positioned. When it comes to foreign policy, more or less somebody in that area, you get that person. You don't just have people. It's not only the CDC, the opposition. Their radio talk show hosts, whoever that seems to be popular within their cycle.
Mr. So the stabilizer is getting ready to change all of that. The stabilizer is getting ready to change all of that. You will see this Samson Toll man will be at the Minister of Information.
All right, let me just, please, I think Dr. Toto.
May I finish my statement, please? May I finish my statement? You will see the like of Samson Toll at the Minister of Information passing out to the Liberian people credible information.
What are you going to do there?
Mr. So, you said something. I didn't ask you a question. I make my statement, and let's leave it as that.
Yeah, because you and this is how the country spoiled, because you that would be a misplaced and wrong assignment of people. If you say, well, you're going to see me at the Ministry of Public Works, then of course I can count on that. I can rely on that. But for you to go to the Ministry of Information to do what? To talk for which government?
Mr. So, please, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. So I thought we need to address this issue. I intend not to make it a conversation, but there's some sort of like within the cycle here and how people perceive things to be, because probably they have not either worked in government, they do not understand how government works, and they do not know what government should be doing. For people to suggest to frown on the president's decision, why the president dismissed.
Can I respond to that again? I think you started that last night.
Can you give me a chance?
I need to rebuke that. I need to respond and push back hard on you right now so you don't run with this thing here tonight. Let me start this by saying this. The president, why he has the right to fire whoever he wants to fire. But if you're going to do that based on a statement made by another person who is also a representative, Gray, demanding that you fire that person, and you go and act on that demand. That means you are not your own man. And so you can't come here and nobody's saying the president doesn't have the right to do that, but the president to act on something that somebody have demanded him to do. Gray,
Who is Gray? Who's Gray? I don't know who you talk. Who Gray?
Okay, Senator. Representative Gray.
Who is
Before
he?
that, he's a senator. He's a representative, and CDC, one of CDC top officials. By he coming out and asking the president, demanding the president to fire, and the president act on that. That for me make him look weak.
You don't even know what you're talking. I
So,
want to see
Alfonso, if I may just chip in a little bit on the point that Liberal made, that's it.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
But that's the problem with this bill that causing all the problem. This bill, Minister
guys,
telecommunication, has been minister for the longest in the government, and his daughter also played a major role in the Unity Party government. And only because he attended the rally the few days to announce rescue number 2, and the all crowd had been coming for sedition that he should be fired. And the president, based upon that recommendation, the president took that decision to fire him.
So it's sad, but we have to have some sort of conversation. Sissy Goyat, good evening, welcome. I heard the Liberal is saying the president decision based on somebody. I'm trying to get him to a point, but his deliberate actions, I was serving as a reminder. What? For the most part, some of the president action decisions stuff, I don't support it, but this one is 100%. Whether I'm there today, the president appoints and fire. 2, this person who is member of the cabinet, they are broken ties. His party they were once upon the time in the coalition. You tell me, you're talking about Cara Gray, 1%. Of course, he is executive of the ruling party. You haven't seen Mitch McConnell, you haven't seen Gates and all of those people calling on people making a decision. Why was Axel took about fire? Why was George Bulley fired from the top of government? Did you see what his name was ever attended Moja meeting? Why was Abdullah Vandi, former Minister of Post and Telecommunication, why was he fired by the Samuel Doe government? Why was Alhaji G.V. Koma fired? Look, when you no longer enjoys the confidence of the president has the right to fire you. Your appointment is inconsistent based on the approval by the Senate, but as long as you approve and the president no longer enjoys your confidence, you can go anytime. Donald Trump fired senior government Secretary of State Rex Tillerson for going to Russia, doing something without the consent of the president, meaning the ties is broken. For that, go up
you are equating things that are not quite correct.
Of course, that's it.
No, you're wrong. They are not correct.
You are being in denial. Okay, let's have the other.
I'm not saying that the president has no right to fire.
It doesn't matter. It can be any partisan can call on the president.
Yeah, but if you do that, you don't look presidential. You look weak.
You don't look presidential. What are you talking about? Okay, let's bring in Amos Joy. Amos Joy, let's go.
You need nobody gave you the mic now. Amos Joy, talk now. Let me see. Let me see if you're able to talk again. Let me see if you're able to talk.
You're not doing this guy good. Let me see if
you're able to talk again. You have me here now. Let me see if you're able to talk again. Okay, you're getting him off the stage. He's not talking anymore.
Article 58 of the Constitution.
We're not hearing you.
Yes, your PA card.
I'm way like I got good that one is very job.
Article 17 says they get like the regulation in a political party. Having said you call it last night. Nobody says myself. We didn't say that the president have the right to fire whoever he wants to fire.
Talk for yourself, don't talk for Sissy.
But what we said, the uptake, the timing.
No uptake. Nothing inside.
I'm talking for myself.
Are you serious?
Myself.
What?
Hold on. But wait now. Are you a CDC supporter or you want to come to the show?
It doesn't matter. I'm just speaking the fact. Whatever you tell me as a city superior, that's it.
Okay, you're the moderator. No, don't become the subject of this thing here. You're the moderator. Okay, you're the moderator. So give a chance. Let me explain you were talking as a moderator. Because you say here, you wear red, you say you're ready to fight anybody here tonight.
In Bon Country.
I was saying you cross this in Don River.
It's not going to be easy tonight.
I will fly. Which one airline stay there? I will fly. Don't talk to that.
They have left the cities. The experience in George we would have done.
Mr. George, can you get off and come back in because you're breaking out?
Let's have the other people yet. Go off
Mr. George, get out and come back. You're breaking. I think you have some good point, but you're breaking in.
Mala Jones, Sister Goya, good evening. We intend not to waste on it because I think there are a lot of destruction going on. With respect, let me try here again. Okay, you know what?
The people take the callers, so the callers embarrassing the man phone nowhere. That I call it what they take from the old man to get to, and the dollar come in, I am okay nowhere.
Okay, let me get him off completely. Hopefully, he can come back. Okay, Mala Jones, your push around it. I don't think we want to waste time. I want us to focus on the substance of what we should really be talking about here. I really don't at this time. We are talking about electing the president and lawmakers, people who are going to be deciding for us. I'm not sure whether these conversations are taking place here, but quickly here, there's a mixed reaction in terms of the president's decision why Cooper Cry was fired. I heard hearing Amos Joy, the uptake, and Samson told somebody. When you have a member of, he said, a top member of the ruling party who is also on executive, and you just say somebody. I don't understand where his politics coming from. So let me just bring you here, Jones.
Well, thank you. First, I want to say hi to Dr. Tutu. You've been missing in action for some time now. And welcome back.
I'm staying in Liberia.
Oh, okay, that's good.
You're eating some fresh meat, organic food.
Oh, okay. I think there's some serious disconnect in Samson's analysis when it comes to the president's prerogative to dismiss, to hire, and fire. Don't also forget the cabinet ministers, as well as the director, and all those that assist the president are the president's eye on the ground. If I go somewhere and see one of the senior executives misbehaving in a certain manner that is not acceptable, as another partisan or senior member, I have the right to bring it to the president's attention. And if I even suggest to the president that I don't think Dr. Toto is fit to really be in the position, giving his rank and file and giving his role in this government, and he went to Yuku Town and just disturbing the entire Yuku Town, I don't think he's bringing disgrace to us. Let alone he leaving and taking part into another opposition top conference. And if the president come out to sack Dr. Toto, frankly speaking, I don't find a problem with that. So I think the president he just exercised his executive power. He eyes not everywhere. It is we, the ministers and the director, that inform the president about what's going on. So if he act anywhere in between there, for me, that's fine. It's not out of his confine. It's within his confine. But if the argument is that someone carried news to him and therefore he acted, then which portion of the Constitution that says when you take news to the president shouldn't act? That's my question to Samson too.
Let's Sister come in here. Let's spin it. Sister, good evening. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Dr. Toto Kuma.
That was your going.
So I think there is a gross misunderstanding of Mr. To's point and my point based on the input from you, Mr. So, and Mr. Mali. Nobody is saying that the Constitution was breached. Nobody is saying that the president's dismissal of the minister violated any constitutional provision. What we are saying, and what we said last night, and what I'll continue to say, is that sometimes things that are your right don't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do. Okay, Peppa Pig. So here is what we said. Mr. Crow went to an event that was held by opposition groups. And his party is now along with a different opposition group. I said last night that it was irresponsible on the part of the minister to have forced the hand of the president. If he knew he was going to be doing that, he should have resigned, not force the president to do that. So that is his portion. The part that I put a blame on Moses Akara's great representative is that I know, Mr. So, you tried to link this thing to the U.S. and everything, but it's not the same. Because when Rex Tillerson got fired, it was not because he went to a Democratic convention. It was because Donald Trump said he had deviated from the foreign policy agenda. This is not a policy issue. This is a political issue. Those are two different things. And I know yesterday you tried to say nowhere in the world, even here, opposition don't work in government, and that is not factual because we talk about Ray LaHoo.
I know what I said.
And all those other people were Republicans that working in Barack Obama's government.
And
Nathaniel McGill used to go to CDC rally while he's still working in government. And so for me, the point is not whether the president was right. The point is Moses Akara's great. There has been no time where in this country, elected officials who have access to power without talking to the president in the background will come on Facebook to force the hand of the president. That is the point I'm making. So nobody said that Moses Akara's great should not tell the president when they see a minister at an event. Nobody says that. The point I made last night and the point the Labour was making was that Moses Akara Gray has access. He got the ears of the president. You should have gone back door and say, Mr. President, that man got to go. To come on Facebook and say, Mr. President, you got to fire this man, force the hand of the president, because there were a lot of other citizens that are pushing that. For me, it was the methodology that he used. Not that the president was wrong. The president can fire anybody. The president will go tomorrow morning, not feel it happen. He can reshuffle the whole government. That is his right. We elected him. We didn't elect ministers. That is his right. Nobody can take that from him. But the point we're making, I think the responses have not been in understanding of the points that are being made. The Labour never said that the president does not have the right. He talked about the methodology and the optics.
guys, I don't care how you try to salad dress this event. I will stand my ground. Look, Akara's Gray is a chair on executive of the ruling party. He can tweet.
No, he chair on executive for the legislature, not the ruling party.
I mean, he's not a ruling party. The point is, he's
not a ruling party. It's a different thing. It's a different thing.
Talking about how you guys, is that how you guys going to?
The man is not chair for.
I'm saying he's a chair, okay, in the committee, but he is a
for the government, not a party. For the government,
member of the ruling party.
That is a different conversation now. But your first point was that he's in charge of the government or the ruling party.
No. Sese, I think the moderator is on track.
It is not. Because those are two different things. Those are two different things.
No. It's not two different things.
It is. In a CDC and a government are the same thing. A CDC and a government are the same thing.
Who interest he represents?
It doesn't matter, but he does not hold that position. And my point is the position you assign to him, he does not hold it in CDC, he holds it in the government. In the legislature, those are two different things. The legislature and the CDC are two different things.
Yeah, but you know the ground on which
it doesn't matter what ground. The legislature and the CDC are two different things. My friend, civics, the legislature and the political party are two different things.
No, it matters.
No, the legislature and the political party in civics, two different things.
I just want to tell you that he stood
Those are two different entities. I want you to agree to that, Mr. Mali. Mr. Mali, you have to agree that the legislature is in the Constitution. The CDC is not in the Constitution. Those are two different things.
Hello? Can we do it one at a time, please?
Yeah, moderator, what I wanted to say here is this. Akara Gray going to the president and telling the president, fire this man. I mean, Akara Gray is seeing his rank in the party. If from the party point of view, I'm coming from, not from his legislative responsibility. No, I'm not really concerned about that. Akara Gray, he's in the party. Okay? If Akara Gray can go to the president, I don't know his rank in the party, to tell the president, that means he's very creditable to the president's ear. But that is not the issue here. The issue here is what wrong with Akara Gray telling the president, fire Mr. Sisi? What wrong with it? What really wrong with that?
Mr. Mali, if you listen to me, you will not ask that question because you didn't listen.
Don't forget about the Constitution.
I'm not talking about. Just let me learn. Don't let you so serious. Don't cause where I will tell you the information. You know me, I will tell you the truth.
Yeah, what wrong with that?
The point is you didn't listen. Again, I want you to listen. The point I'm making here is not that Akara Gray was wrong, and I said that. I said, no, I'm not saying Akara Gray was wrong to tell the president to fire the minister. I said the medium and the method using Facebook, and you agree with me that Moses Akara Gray have access to power. He is a strong man in CDC. He holds power in CDC. My point was the credible, the logical, the most governmental way to do things would have been behind the scene. Mr. President, fire them instead of doing it on Facebook. That is the point I'm making. And again, you didn't listen.
Okay, but then if that is the point you're making, if that is a point you're making,
it is not an if. That is the point I'm making.
No. That's
not an if. It is the point I'm making.
No. You cannot impose your way of seeing other people. What I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with that.
So, look, listen.
You're moving around the place.
No. You said the medium.
Mr. Mali, you didn't listen.
Oh man, you just said the medium. There's a problem with the medium.
So
what's wrong with the medium?
The FBI director with a tweet.
That's a point I wanted to raise, Jeddah. That's a point I wanted to
talk about. Again, you're comparing apples and oranges. The president has fired the minister with a tweet. If Joe, we are going on Facebook and had a TikTok fire the man, I'm not discussing that. I'm discussing somebody lower than the president. You're discussing president. It's not the same thing. It was not Akara Gray that fired the minister. It was not Akara Gray that fired the minister.
I don't want to see
two different things
because you
was not comparing Benabo and Pepe yet. Are two different things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing here. The president appoints, the president fires. Whether you want it to go your way or not, Sir Abdullah Vani, when he was a minister of Post and Telecommunication, what I'm saying here, the central argument here of my point here, when the president no longer, it doesn't matter. And this is why you have some highlanders in party. What Mesh McCann and I used to do to the Barack Obama and all of those other people. Why you think I'm saying this to say the executive, the president is the chief driver of the country, whether you like it or not. And some of the party members are stalwart. If they find out that certain thing is not going right, they have the right to say it. Why you think Liz Cheney, Aden Kassingard, why do you think they went against party ideology? And they put people, why Scarborough was kicked out of this of the legislature? Because he went against George Bush. I am saying, first and foremost, that's the inability of a Liberian politician, their inability to take political risk. First of all, they're no longer part of the coalition. The president went in his church. He made it crystal clear where I want go, you go. And he decided to test the executive power. And the president fired him. So why we should be arguing about it? Sir Abdullah Vani make a stamp and make his picture big and made those pictures small. And what happened the next day? By the time it came out,
you were gone.
The senior person advised him, my man, the thing you're doing here, it will get you into trouble. He said, oh man, I don't anything. Alhaji Kroma, George Bully, they told him not to go speak to the progressive and people. He went there. What happened to him? Trouble fire him. when there is a breach and when the person, the ruling establishment and other Highlanders no longer enjoys your confidence, you expect the person to leave from there to go to cabinet meeting and come back and take it? Can Joseph Boyka, Alexander Kuhlman do that? If they did that, then I would say they are not.
Right.
They are
I would say this here, Mr. So.
So
You
let's
and
move on.
Marius don't win their case, but we
We're not looking
will
for
say
joy.
you
No,
and
no, no,
Marius
no.
are not winning this
Listen,
case.
listen,
You know
listen,
what?
That's not our view.
Mr. Moderator,
Hold on, guys.
Toto
Hold on. You and Mali are not winning their case. But just for time's sake, let's move on to something else.
Thank you.
You two
So,
are not going to win this case.
No. We're not moving to something. That Toto come here and cut this case, please.
Why would Toto is who? He's the what presiding judge?
No, probably he could
When
You
here,
dey see me as I'm not forcing to see thing my will, but you want somebody to cut judge,
point
you
here,
take you
there
to see
was
things
a
their way.
the
You
point
gotta
here,
pick
there
one
was
side,
a
Mr.
breach.
Mare, and stick
There was
to
a
it.
breach. There was a breach, and so the president took his decision. I don't know why we are wasting our time. I wanted to see who the person that got. We didn't say why he been in government. So you know what happened. You know what has happened to Nima. You know what the president did. He did a strategic. They took a strategic position now and is leaving people with headache. He took somebody from Nima. So what they have done, they took another people food from the table and put somebody there. So it becomes an argument. Why it doesn't take any vote for him. The other people are going to be. But let's have a conversation here. What should be the conversation? Like? The vice president.
Let me just come in. I'm trying to take my leave now.
Yeah, I know it late on us.
I know it's late over there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to take my leave. Well, wish you guys a good show, and I'll follow the discussion. Maybe my dream.
Can you make arrangement while you're on grounds for us to have your guy? When is he deciding? We hearing ANC people taking and all of you.
And also, I know these people, but these people don't know me.
Alfonso trying to create problem. I've told him if he need my guy to let me know, I will provide my guy. See, he's trying to
we need to beg you. You're bringing the people that want
you just beg. You just asking me why you ask me. Then you say beg. I say my bag.
We talked that thing the other day. You said
you said you do your thing.
Oh yeah.
Don't maybe take the call and say get a call.
I want to be fair. I'm going to ANC.
Let a man say good night to us now.
To be fair, for my personal engagement, getting people's opinion, and running my own personal project, I don't be having time to any kind of engage, any high political level person. You know, well, since you can get more information on that.
Yeah, I think what we try to do, there are little things keeping us distracted here, and we are compelled to have this conversation because they are taking the space.
Yes,
what we need to be doing now is to talk about these people, what they represent. I want to see Kun is the VP. I want to see him getting out there to see how he can be an added advantage to the Ambassador Boyka. I want to see this person being felt, right? Go there.
Yeah.
And if I were him advising, the first place you need to go to Lofa and tell the Lofa people, your father, I'm here. You have heard the news, but I've come to tell you.
But right now, I think the guys are playing some political strategy. Send out an announcement by GMB, overshadow all the guys right now. All in the news right now in Nigeria is GMB, George Weah, GMB, George Weah, GMB, George Weah. So until maybe a week from now or a couple of days from now, maybe the guy will try to merge again. But right now, send that announcement overshadow every one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. But let me take my leave. You know, you got it.
Dr. Toto, I gotta coordinate with you. I need something from inside.
I'm back in Moravia. I came back yesterday.
Oh, you in Moravia now?
Yeah, I got in Moravia yesterday.
Okay, I will talk to you in the date. Let me see. I need to get something quick there. Okay, thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much for tapping. At least you're there. Janitor passing, he missing. Yeah, all the ANC people, they are so kind of people there. We can't even hear anything from him. Okay, so let's have a conversation here. Let's talk about Ambassador Boyka right now. You're being into this politics here, and both here, so there's a broader stuff here, and Mali Jones and the Liberal. Unity Party is one of those institutions, main challenger to the CDC. We can't deny the fact. Ambassador Boyka being in the public space, experience, and I being involved in so many things. He has decided he make a pick already. What should be the focus point now? The momentum, we saw the momentum, it was looking good. People will always be dissatisfied when decisions are made. It's all over the world. What should they do to keep this alive, not to allow it to submerge? What should they be doing at this time?
So that is a very good question. And I think a few shows ago, I talked
Folks,
about.
please hold on. We'll be opening the line. Just hold a piece. Sorry, Stacey, go ahead.
A few shows ago, I talked about maintaining. That was going to be one of the problems we're going to have, right? With maintaining momentum. If you remember, I think it was 2 or 3 shows ago.
Right.
But before I get to that, let me lay something out here, because I know sometimes our viewers come and they try to bash us. My brother Moses Cooper crowd myself, we're not from the same tribal line. Because you say I'm pushing tribal line with Cooper crowd. I'm from Lova country.
Sissy, the way I like you to death. Do not allow this deliberate way of being distracted by what our viewers.
No, I left my brother to know, because he said I'm pushing tribal line. I'm not supporting JMB. So when a tribal line, Cooper crowd myself from the same country. But having said that, on a serious note, I did joke with my brother Moses. On a serious note, in this country, after conventions, after the Democratic people come for their conventions and the Republicans come for their convention, if you watch the polls, they do bump up in the poll. They do rather high, right? Because you suck up all of the oxygen in the room at that point. So right now, all of the oxygen is being sucked up by the Unity Party and Jeremiah Kuhn, right? And the CDC is trying their hardest to stay relevant, because they're the one in power. I think the mistake that political parties, other opposition political parties will make, will be trying to just now make news or jump in the news to try to change the narrative right now, because you'll be wasting energy. You'll be bumping against two very huge forces between the CDC and the Unity Party right now. Your message will not come out. Or if it come out, it will just be made fun of. I think what opposition political parties need to do is to allow for a week or two, because look, the announcement has been made. You got 6 months to election. What plans does the Unity Party have in collaboration with the MDR to sustain this momentum? It's not possible, right? So I think the only thing he asked me, what would be my advice to the Unity Party, is they got to put Jeremiah Kuhn out there a lot more. You got to have a lot of press engagement. They got to make sure they take him out of Nimba County, carry him to Lofa County, carry him to Bon County, carry him to the Southeast, carry him everywhere. Because look, mind you, Joseph Boakai cannot make all of those trips. They're going to be relying heavily on Jeremiah Kuhn. So I think the way to maintain that momentum is to take Jeremiah Kuhn out to introduce him to the rest of the country, because Joseph Boakai is already known to the rest of the country. And so now you got to take a Jeremiah Kuhn to Grand Gide and introduce him in Grand Gide. And he has to make policy statements. You got to take a Jeremiah Kuhn to Maryland and introduce him in Maryland and take him to Bon County. So if you ask me, if I was a strategist with a Unity Party, that would be the plan. Is for now, just try to get Jeremiah Kuhn out there and have him have a lot of engagement outside of Nimba County.
I think you just hit the nail on the head, and that's what I was talking to this guy here. And that's what ANC tries to do. And people don't understand. Sometimes when you talk to them and they say, oh, the person here this one. ANC, that press conference, I don't know the significance of it. It was untimely. The momentum wait until see how it looks like. But to just rush the conference, the message has been consistent. I don't see anything new in that. You want to seize a moment. And this is what our politicians, this is what our political parties are unable to do. And I think I was just having that conversation with the Liberals just before we came on late this evening. At this point in time, the cardinal reason, Nima is very crucial to the place, and Jeremiah Kuhn is in a house. The possibility of having good rapport with other people. I listen to this young man. He's talking. He's very kind. He's not an emotional person who can just give an outburst. But what he needs to do now, first and foremost, his 9 year is secure. Whether they win it or not, right? It's secure. I will get out of that Morovia capital and spend most of my time visiting talking to people, or Omen Boyka get me by his side, will be coming back here. Deliberate. Let me just bring you. I know we had a conversation back here, and that's exactly what Sisi is saying. If you were advising, they don't know you, you don't know them, but you blow the trumpet on this network. Where should he first land? Where should he be going? And I was just talking the same thing. He should make himself visible to any news outlet, whether that one person watching it, two person watching it, and tell the people why he's standing with Ambassador Boyka. That needs to happen. They need to stop being selected where to go, where not to go. That's what I mean about it. But let me just hear from you. If you were the principal advisor to Jeremiah Kuhn right now, what would you want him to learn first?
Well, Mr. So, I thank you. Brilliant question, of course. But this is what this is how I'm going to answer. And they made a few points yesterday on my own show, and those points remains the same. I think even the Jeremiah Cohn, the nominee himself, I think at this time I would prefer the Ambassador Barkai to have a national press conference. But before that, they should go in their own little war room and have a talking point. And those talking points, for me, those talking points should be the talking point from Ambassador Barkai when he have the national teleconference, where he was put the talking point out. Then after that is done, I don't care what I brief or not, but then the nominee, the vice president nominee now will come out and tell some of his own view towards the talking point, so that they don't seem to be, they will not be seen as talking from both sides of their mouths. So I think at this time, like I said yesterday, and I will say again, Ambassador Barkai doesn't need to sit down. He needs to tell us, that's what I used that word, us, yesterday. Tell us where to go, and we will follow. And it remains the same. Because the senator, the nominee himself, he can talk. And he's very smart, very intelligent. Not that he's unable to make a statement. But I think for him to come out and take a lead on that, once again, if he does that, it's not like it's going to be illegal, but I think then you have the person who you're supposed to be behind, you're going to be leading. And other people other opposition political party leaders and what have you, might take that in a different route. So my suggestion, if they don't know me, I want to admire Ambassador Barkai. They don't know me. But if I was in their camp, if I was someone who they would talk to or listen to, I would say now, once again, let them find few talking points that Ambassador Barkai going to introduce. Second time. Here's the thing that another point I want to make here very quickly. The speech Ambassador Barkai made during the selection time, nomination time, it was such a beautiful speech. But what was it? What were you? Did you get anything? Did you hear it? No. So that speech should have been, even to make that nomination, it should have been done in a gathering of few, I would say. And then after that, because that's when you make the statement where the world will listen, where people will listen to you clearly. Then after that is done, then you go to the gathering with the supporters. And all you need to do now is to hold the man's hands up. But for you to come in that gathering, make that beautiful statement that people couldn't even understand, they were not getting at all. That was, I don't know who was advising the Ambassador Barkai, but I don't think it went well. So just to end, Mr. So, I would say Ambassador Barkai need to take the lead, and once he does that, he just sit back and watch how this thing gonna play.
Okay, let me bring in Mally Jones. And this is lacking both sides, the government, the opposition, their inability to have that sort of continuity and seasoned message. They don't seize the moment. Mally Jones, let me just bring you in. It's not just selecting. When you select, it must be perfected into action. People must feel something instantly to say, yes, this is happening. There's a reason why this person is being selected. There is a need. Now we know why this guy is being selected. It's the Unity Party. And let me sound a little bit ridiculous here to be like the liberal. They have their talking heads. They have people who are talking for them. This is where they're supposed to keep focus and be concise with the message of the person they are supporting. But guess what? Instead of then accelerating the momentum of their guy who is in the picture right now, they stay forcing with ANC people. Why can we not do this when your message should just be only Boyka, why Boyka should be the next president? That is not happening. But let's make you temporarily an advisor to Jeremiah Kung. And I believe they had a lengthy discussion behind the scene. It's not an overnight for the former vice president to decide who's going to be the running mate. I believe they are talk the weaknesses and where things they need to work on. But let's assume you are advising Jeremiah Kung. What he needs to be doing, he get a job. His job is secure. And I can tell you right now, there will be a frustration in terms of his role with the leg from as a senator for Nima County. The government will sanction. I mean, a lot of things going to be black. So I know he prepares for that. So all he needs to do now to get this political fight out, to give the old man the momentum that he deserves to keep in the picture. What should he be doing now when you are advising Jeremiah Kung?
Well, in strategic communication, there's something called strategic damage control. But I did not see this happening with Boakai and his nominee. Things are fine. The only problem there is this ongoing misconception. The partisan, you see, everything Sisi and the progressive said they are in line. But there's a misconception out there. Now we, the observer and the well-wishers, but the partisan. How did this happen? So people are interpreting and calculating from their own understanding based on rumor and other things. So as a public relation specialist, that I take that first. So what we will do for our setting, first of all, Jeremiah Kung now, the party is now looking up to him as the man with the energy. Yes. That papa can't do a lot right now, but they are looking up to him now, the man with the energy. So he will first of all need to engage engage a strategic public relations firm to come up with a strategy. And I will mark myself in there.
I get 20% cut, yeah.
So the first thing
and so we established that to coordinate.
Yes. So the first thing I would recommend to them as an expert is to have the All Unity Partisan Conference at the stadium. And people will be anxious to go there to hear what the new nominee has got to say. And when they get to the stadium, we will term it as the homecoming, the victory homecoming. Then at that homecoming, the vice president will be giving 30 minutes to clear the misconception surrounding this whole thing and how even he arrived at that. Then from there, you open the podium for partisans to express their view, one or two or three.
God, I'm busting the line here.
Then from there, then you have to set the pace now. What next we're going to do? And I think Sisi just brought that in. Because there's a need now to build the image. The puppet image is built already. There's a need now to build the image in the Vera County, starting with the southeastern county, because that's George Wias's backbone right there. So what we do, how do we go there? Are we going to get a Peda people to go there? Are we going to get a Bassa people to go there? Are we going to get a Nima people to go there? No. We are going to recruit Southerners in the party to speak the language that will resonate with the people down there. But Jeremiah will have to be in the midst of all these movements because his image is very important.
The best of analysts. This is why
So
this
that would be a 3,000 per hour job.
Oh yeah, you know, people spend billions of dollars. You think campaign a small thing? I know.
Okay. Because one thing I know, even though we came on the show and we express our own dissatisfaction, but the issue now is, as an analyst, we got to be objective now and look at the way forward. We know the problem already, but let's move forward, because we cannot be criticizing and we cannot provide solution.
Exactly.
So for me, there where I will come from, because there's some dissatisfaction in the camp already. So how are they going to harmonize all those things, and move forward? Because they got to move forward. Yes.
John Malice, Cecil Goyard, the liberal progressive, the best in analysis, fair balance. And you guys hit the point. That's exactly that needs to be done right now. Look, I see yourself as a dump site. In that time for you to make plow with people, anybody slap you now, you show the side. Exercise political tolerance. What get to my nerves? These people that say they profess to be talking for these people here. I don't understand. Because it is time to sharpen the message of these people that are supporting. Go to Lofa County, because you don't want to be like Agor. This is a do or die. Tomo Fala is doing some crazy stuff in that. We can't undercut or underestimate it.
Yeah.
Voters are such a people, the more you're visible to them, the more you get used to them.
Yeah.
You need to show strength in Lofa County. It's a matter of much, Ambassador Barker, that you win Lofa County. To the guy that you pick, it's a matter of much. How? Some kind of way to bring Nima in your column. From Lofa, go to Nima. Like where this guy said, establish a strong base with the local people who will speak the Gio, who will speak the Mano, who will speak the Crown, who will speak, I think, is that we is in Nima too. All of that, make your presence felt. For now, for the next 161 days, Jeremiah Kun, forget about going to Capitol Hill. Suspend that. Because anything you ask for, they're not going to get it. But let's see here, the line is bossing. Let's make our guys voices here. Aaron and Ambrose, you can call. Let me just put the number out there. And ANC, I don't know why
that number already on the screen though. I'm seeing the number.
Yeah, I know they were now. Sometimes they would say they would not see it. Let me just put it here. I don't know why that press conference was called, because it tends to kill the substance of what you want to do. It had to. Okay, let's go to this number here quick. 763 number. Good evening. Welcome.
How you doing, Mr. So? This is Elvis.
Elvis, good evening. Welcome to the show. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, good evening to you, and good evening to Mr. Goya and Mr. Cho. Mr. Marley Jones, I would say good evening for him for last, because I let the thing doing right now on the show.
My first brother from Minnesota.
Why you giving United Party for security?
Hold on, because the line is bossing. Folks, get there with me. Let me just put everybody on there and let's do it as let's be. Oh, why the person line? Why you call and you can't merge with other people? Are you serious?
It's a classified line, Mr. So.
Yeah. Okay. 612 number. You may everybody go on hold. 612-3168. Are you there? Hold on. Why the person number came and everybody just go on hold? 612, are you there? 3168.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, Mr. Su.
Yeah, Terry, your number came and just black everybody on hold. Okay, so go ahead quickly here. Let's see. So that everybody will be able to have a.
Oh, you getting me?
Okay, everybody there now. So, okay, Terry, go ahead quickly. The other guy going on.
Yeah, I think Mr. Su. I think Honorable Boycott will be able to put Lofa County on his side. I really want to believe that, because even this going election, the only reason why that Kennedy won was because his message had already resonated with the people. All right, you remember Samuka won first, and the government pressed on him, and all those kind of things. So all those bad blood stay in local county. That was a senatorial election. That was why that CDC just went jump behind that guy, but that guy was not a physician.
Thank you
So
so much.
that is not that. I don't believe that that would be a problem for Joseph Boga to pull off the votes from local county. You know, the only problem that your analyst said, the southeast, and we must not focus on the southeast because George Weah will claim it. That one, just forget about it. He's going to claim the southeast. But
All right.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I beg you, let's keep it short. There are other folks yet. We want to make all voices to be heard. Okay, 405 number 3418. I believe it's Ambrose. Ambrose, are you there?
Yes, Mr. So okay.
Okay. Oh my God, the line is going crazy. Okay, Ambrose, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, Mr. So, I think Josh already left. I think Mr. So, what's the other gentleman name? I don't know if it's
Mr. Jones.
But how you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, how you doing? Well, you know, I think today's show is a little bit interesting. Since you becoming to be my favorite person on TV, you know, because it seems that you get a different standard. Yeah, you get a different standards, you know, come to different situations. But so I feel what you're saying will be true, but I don't think it's going to stick to the HEP because it's a lot of souls have to heal before they can even start studying him for people to accept him. Because I think skipping the line will be a big issue for them to overcome. You know, you can say it was no promise, no, or nothing was promised to anybody. But for what they went through with them, and especially normally I think it will be that healing will take place. I think he promised her a really, really good job that she's hoping to see. I know the pro temper, but it's not too much you can give it to her for her to be fair. Because this lady, so everything that she wanted to be a VP. Not getting the VP position. I don't know what she can compromise for. Well, I know you just said it. Thank you so much.
All right. The sister enjoy tomorrow. When sister go on the other side, you must call by and say the same thing. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. The line is kind of driving me crazy right now. Okay. Oh Lord Jesus, this is. Can you guys put your other number there?
Achimo Federal saying you must change your proper phone. You in America?
Who's that?
Achimo Federal saying you must change your proper phone.
No, you guys, I gotta give me your number so that you can pick up other calls because wherever call come. But let me just go to the other callers here. Callers, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Elvis, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, all the minute kick me over. I have to get back in. You gotta say you're trying to call your girlfriend when she break up with you.
I'm putting your number there too, just in case. So that they can pick up call on the other side. Yeah, ever go ahead.
Yeah, let me say to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, please stop giving the United Party people any advice. We'll try to get you back into the CDC, but please don't get any advice. But quickly, let me say this, Mr. Toad. I mean, maybe it will seem conspiratorial, but everything I'm saying here is my own saying. It's not from LPR. Jeremiah Kuhn, we know his character. People, I have family in Ganta who know that man personally, who knows his life story. The man built a hospital in Ganta. They had a little boy there who went to this hospital just for common stomach pain. They said the little boy died. Then the people at the hospital buried the child when the boy family came from the village. The people in the hospital say that the boy body was too far off, so they had to bury him to resume the body. They refused to resume the body, so they can see their son. Jeremiah Kuhn settled with that family. It's a well-known fact in Ganta. Another thing is the man married his wife. His wife was inside man. Right now, the man's wife is crazy. His daughter that he born also, she's also crazy. We're from Liberia, we're from Africa. We know what these things mean. So when people just come and have a meteoritic, I know the word, meteoritic rise. When somebody just, when somebody come from nowhere and just become popular so fast that what I'm looking for, I can find it right now. You know, it's not for nothing. We know like bro, how things work. So people should look at it. And Joe Parker said it in his speech. when he become president, our trail will not be going missing anymore. So maybe you'll keep a close watch on Jeremiah from doing your high business. But we know his character, we know how to deal with him. So it's exciting times, we're prepared for him. Thank you for taking my call.
Evan, let me ask you, Evan, let me ask you, seriously, is that the only case where Jeremiah, is that where they linking him with a high business for one child death and being buried and was not being able to, the family did not, is that the only one?
Let's go to our caller there. You know, the people are setting out their propaganda machinery now to go gutter. So get ready. Okay, 832 number 144. Are you there? 833 number. Are you there? Hello, guys. You're playing different thing, and I'm not. Okay. I think they are listening to something different. Okay. 405. Are you there?
Hey, Mr. So, good evening and good evening to your panelists. This is Abraham calling from Oklahoma.
Welcome, AB.
Well, which one is the Labor Progressive Ed number or he stay money?
My man, don't start trouble the evening, yo. We already now.
Okay, Mr. Okay, Mr. So let me just make my point quick and get off the line. I think Alexis say analysis, but I think he dropped the ball on two issues. One, when he talked about the Akawa grade, tweeting or posting on Facebook that the president needs to fire Cooper from the Post and Telecommunications. Akawa grade is representing the district through the party, so he's the chairperson, one executive from the CDC. So you can't take that from Akawa. He's not an independent candidate. There's nowhere in the world that you will win on a party ticket and you serve it on a committee. They take your party from you. No way. It has to be attached to your need, to your position. So, and the influence that Akawa get in the government and in the party, so he can also, even here in this country that we are, during Trump time, some Republican, like Leslie Graham, told him to fire up some people, the FBI director, all of that on TV. It's not in hearing. So the president did the right thing. So the president, if Mr. Cooper knew that he was going, he's a party chairperson, and his party and the government have fair part, he could have just resigned to go to his party. One, two, when it comes to Lofa and Nima County, I listened to another caller say, yes, but Lofa County will be a battleground county. Lofa and Nima will be a battleground county, like how we say a battleground state. So, but the CDC have done enough work in Lofa and Nima County that will give them vote more in 2017 and and 2011. But everybody will get a share. They won't go group, like my brothers say, they will get a vote and everybody will get a vote. But I think CDC will come up with a good number of votes for Nima County.
I get a finish sign for Sese Kennedy.
My man, come on, Kennedy knee with strength back. Don't come on, Kennedy knee lazy way like that.
Mr. So, after President we have secured his second term, 2029, it will be a clean feed, So that's the time Sese that will be flexing their muscles because that fee will not have improvement 2029. So that's how Sese that will be a man. But right now, Sese they're testing, they're just testing the water. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I don't know why the other folks. Era, are you there? Hello, Era. Okay. All right. The LPR number is out there too. You guys can call it. Yeah. So I don't know. We talked a lot about Boyka. We have a few more minutes to go. What should be the strategy of the ANC? I'm not sure whether that press conference. I don't know how strategic it was. What was the essence of it? Let me go to Aaron here. Aaron may call it. Aaron, are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here now. I called Mr. Toto. He look like he don't want to take my call. How you guys doing?
You see the message here? Message wanted. I told you.
I know.
People told you.
I know.
Man.
Go ahead. Yeah, nobody and Unity Party man, he don't want to take my call. So I just want to make a couple of points on the discussion tonight. the first thing I will talk about will be the corporate crime issue.
Okay.
So what I want to say about that is, when we explain to people about the president having a will and pleasure, and we try to throw in like political, affiliation and stuff in there, we should be very, very clear to the Liberian people. Number one, Cooper Crack came in the government from a coalition. He came with a political party. And this is the same thing a lot of people talking within the Unity Party, that Prince Johnson always seeks his own interests. He brings in people to take position, but then when things doesn't fall his way, then he don't care about anybody again. He just go on the other side. Okay? Prince Johnson supposed to know that he's not the only person in MDR. There are other people there who got position in the government. So when he comes out publicly to make a statement stating that MDR is leaving the coalition, I mean, everybody should leave. Everybody should leave. And, Sister said it right. The minister shouldn't have forced the president hands, to fire him and stuff like that. Because their leader came out and said they were leaving. He should have resigned. He should have resigned. And then they wouldn't have been public today that, the president fired him and stuff like that. So that's what I got to say about that. Okay. If you came to an agreement with a party and the party is leaving, if you want to stay, you stay and stay all together. But if you want to hang your phone on this side and hang your other phone on this side, then we'll throw you out. And that's what happened.
Thank you.
So I don't think anybody should blame the president about that. And then, the second thing I would talk about would be the momentum. Yeah, I got to hurry up real quick. The momentum that, the Unity Party people talking about, they got momentum. I listened to Dr. Toto. He said he talked to people talking about, we move the CDC government. I mean, Dr. Toto never went on with Monrovia. If you talk to 6 or 7 people and they tell you that, what's about the rest of Monrovia or what's the rest of Liberia? So we shouldn't come on platforms and make these kind of statements if we just go and stay one place in Liberia. If you tour the entire Monrovia with a camera behind you and do an opinion poll and stuff like that, Chowia will always come on top. So Unity Party ain't got no momentum, okay?
Thank you.
I mean, Jeremiah Cole barely speaks in the Senate. How are you going to run a campaign? What kind of message you going to put out there?
Okay, let's leave it there.
Costa said Jeremiah Cole was selling him apart. And the story that the other caller just made about the child, that's the first one. There's a lot more coming. Watch out for that. And I'm telling you, take that to the bank. Thank you.
All right. Okay, 7637.
What made us see this and that bank beneath that issue?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So I call him back because I want to ask you one question. If you marry somebody's daughter and the man let you stay in your house and you divorce your daughter, are you allowed to stay in the man's house? So if CDC married Prince Johnson party politically and Prince Johnson divorced CDC, the Prince Johnson children are allowed to stay in CDC house? Of course not. The man should be fired.
But why the man let somebody marry a daughter and go live in his house? Why ain't gonna live with it? Why does daughter live in house?
No, don't worry about that. You always like to make flower with my foot. Don't mind. I told you this guy is not a good guy, but you don't listen to me.
I'll leave it there. I don't want to get that clarification.
Thank you so much. All right, gentlemen, we are running out of time. Says it, the Liberal Progressive and Mr. Jones. Now, we know the guy who set this stage, who set this dinner, the dinner, and this dinner is being served, is Prince Johnson. Should the ambassador go behind the scene and say, you know what, you have done all you have done? There's no way, there's no need that he should insert himself to be causing, to be getting into other fight. Should he still be in this fray, and how should he get his word out? Because here we are. He says something to Kanga. You can rule out young bleedings. Every devil get their own followers. You still need some people on your side. And then at the end of the day, he was talking, he apologized. But should he just kind of let it go low now and wait for the campaign? Is he willing to get our Ambassador Boyka? Is he willing to leave the hands of Jeremiah Kong in Nima County to make him more viable, to argue his political point? and let Jeremiah Cohn fight his own fight now, because ultimately he is the one that is on the ticket with with Ambassador Boyka. Should Ambassador Boyka place a phone call to wait and say the King's Maker, whatever we can call him, he's a factor. We can, but go low. Let Jeremiah Cohn be the guy to be in the fries. Should he do that? Because there's no indication that Prince Johnson want to start. He still wants to be the deal maker. He still wants to be the one that who get this whole thing going. And he loves being in the eyes of the media.
Is that my question?
Yeah, then the other guys can respond.
I think it will be difficult and it will be a mistake for the ambassador to tell Prince Johnson to not be effective. But yeah, you can tell him you can minimize him. I think Prince Johnson is the ultimate campaigner in Nimba County. But outside of Nimba County, I don't know what his strengths are to get people to the polls. So you got to localize Prince Johnson's strength. I guarantee you, in Nimba County, you love him or hate him, Prince Johnson is a force. And you need those votes. I think what Jeremiah Cohn can start doing, in addition to everything Mr. O'Malley lay here, is that Jeremiah Cohn works in the Senate. He works with Yombli Kanga in the Senate. He works with Abraham Darasdale in the Senate. These are two people that are not too happy right now. I think he sees those people more than the ambassador sees them. He works with them. I think he should start cultivating more relationship and kind of soften that ground a little bit.
Right.
But also go beyond that, because if he does get elected as vice president, he's going to be president of the Senate. So I don't think he abandons his job right now, but I think he starts to take a different role, and the role of making friends. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the chief strategist or for the agenda, the legislative agenda, when it comes from the executive, trying to get people to vote for it. So now is when he starts to show that leadership skill and that leadership ability. Now, on the issue of people saying Lofakando will be battleground, Moses Colley going down to be senator, you think that will happen? You really understand why Moses Colley stopped being representative? That he's going to run and be senator? Or that my uncle who running for Monserrato County to go to FOIA, you think that's what's going to change something? Yeah, let's be serious. But I got one warning for the ambassador and the Unity Party. Remember Dr. Nagao, Dr. Peter Nagao, former vice president of the interim government of national unity, appointed April 19th, 1991, resigned August 15, 1991, because Prince Johnson said he sent him there and he wanted him out. Just for that man to resign, for Prince Johnson to say, but what happened to the vice president? I said, oh, the man resigned. So the man can stay in Giamora. I just get the man Giamora and go move. Ambassador Boakai should be very careful. The Unity Party, for me, I just put it out there. I don't say the man hasn't changed. I'm just saying beware.
And that's the point. The history, the pattern is there about this guy yet. Joe Malice.
Yeah.
Should they look in the face of Prince Johnson say you need to decelerate your the speed is too high. You causing you did something good, but some damages being caused here.
Yes. Assuming I was the public relations officer for Ambassador Boakai and Joseph Cohn.
Are we still to assume?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we still got to assume.
The man get a contract.
Yes.
I
haven't gotten any contract, no money. I'm giving them free service. Actually, the messaging will be very, very difficult. That's the first thing I'm going to tell the two of them. And what I see here now is that the messaging will be difficult from 3 angles. You see the callers that just call, he will start saying some very bad things that he know about, I don't know about Jeremiah Cohn. It's not the issue about the labor death. It is how the labor died and how he was buried. That is the issue. So even the other issue about Costa, this man setting him apart, you see in Liberia, there's some information that resonate with the people and they tend to hate you. And because of that, they get afraid. That's the type of population we have. So if our public relation person, that's going to be very difficult for me. How do I bring in the messages to clear the air on these things? That's the first thing. Yes. And the second thing here is that the partisan, including Jeremiah Kuhn, I want to believe everybody want to sit back now. Think he said the paper is popular. Comes 2023, they will just open the box and their vote come on their side. From what I see in Liberia right now, it's not going to happen. If they do it, they're going to leave the hall with tears in their eyes. Yes. But the messaging right now, because if all the kind of story are coming about, even the guy telling, oh, that's not all. And in Liberia, people quick on saying, oh, that's okay. Yeah, he killed somebody. He said, but what's wrong with that? And there are a whole lot wrong with that. Let's look at it on the flip side. If CDC decide, okay, we are going to use Jeremiah Kuhn, his past history. They killing people, him on part, and I was in CDC camp. That's going to be a very good messaging to damage Jeremiah Kuhn, even in Nima County, from the CDC end. Let alone the other counties. You see? So the messaging right now for the UP party is very, very crucial and is very, very important. So as I now, let's wait and see. But let what analysis said. The next day, what I expected, what they should have done if I were in their camp as public relations officer, the next day, they should have started hitting the airway the next day up to today and let the information sink into the people, especially the issue of clarification. But up to now, people stay quiet. You see? So a damage control will come in after 1 month and you come in to clarify. No one want to believe you. No one want to listen to you. And I noticed when the issue come up with Jeremiah Kuhn, he tend to be silent. That's dangerous. Because in Liberia, when he's silent, we just conclude, say, oh, okay, that's true. That's why he's not talking. You see? So I yield.
Welcome back, Amos George and the Liberal here. Liberal, you heard that. And that makes it very crucial. Huh?
Can I ask a quick question between the Liberal and Amos George? Which one of you get a caller before you answer your question, Mr. So let me answer.
I told you shouldn't be friendly with this guy.
I didn't know who brought that caller from the interior.
I don't know that part. But on a serious note,
I won't get a caller, Sissy.
That one part, then plenty of hair with rose. Or when you put that caller in your hair, my goodness. But on a serious note, the public relation aspects, Jones measure. We saw how the train of the collaboration party derailed. ANC, they were unable to debunk, to defend, and protect their political leader. He was defined by one person. Henry Costa defined Alexander Cummings. And in politics, when you allowed people to define you, instead of you defining yourself, it becomes a stigma, it becomes a damage control, it becomes a distraction to your campaign, and you cannot easily get out of it. I don't know when the Unity Party were having that thing, I don't know whether they seized the moment to invest a lot in making sure, besides the government run stations, but spends a little money, all these rural communication network to seize that moment to relay. I don't know whether they did it, I don't know. But these are all important things that they need to do to invest into it. The Liberal Progressive.
Mr. So, I think the messaging side of it, as I stated earlier, we need the Ambassador Bakar, to take the lead and give us a talking point, so to speak, and people will run with it. Now, soon to be Dr. Jones, Miles Jones' statement here is quite correct. But I hope that my brothers and sisters on the other side from CDC don't take this and run away with it. Why it might look bad on Cohn, Jeremiah Cohn with that story. CDC themselves, they have huge problem. And if they go with this, somebody kidding somebody business, and they will suffer because they will suffer greatly because their situation, the killing business, the situation, Prince Justin, your brother, I want up the other day ain't finished yet. So there are documentation, there are things people can talk about, the auditors and all those kinds of stuff. On Spoon, I still have the video. There was a guy that was giving the whole story about that guy that got hit by the truck. So all of those things are still. I was just reading here a few minutes ago when you guys are talking. They're talking about the city mayor, Morea City police director is in the United States as we speak, and most likely might not even go back. That he's holding on to a lot of information. So they cannot. Their best bet is to stay away from those kinds of issues because they will be hurt. Now, I think Jeremiah Cohn, most likely, you see, this is what the culture of our nation is very good. When you get into these kinds of stuff, some of us do believe that when you get into a group setting, your individual identity seems to be suppressed, so to speak, and you put on the group identity. Now, Ambassador Baka not only does he have the experience, but he's much older. So to have Jeremiah Cohn now to try to speak on behalf of the party or on behalf of Ambassador, people say, oh, the man, the same thing we're talking about, the man even died. Jeremiah Cohn is already president. And you don't want those kinds of situations to start steamrolling you and the vice president into this. So I think the vice president would do all of us a favor. Come out this week, give the talking point that all of you will agree on.
A talking point. What sort of talking point?
Mr. So I'm not in a courthouse. I'm not in a courthouse.
Oh, boy, you're talking to the public.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I give you one talking point. Let me just give you an example. Samson too is one of the best from Total. That's a talking point, and everybody can expand on that. Why am I the best from Total? And if am I the best from Total? Can anybody explain to the audience to accept that I am the best from Total? Why is that? That's when you start taking those kinds of stuff, and it comes from Ambassador Baka. If people, then those who are going to be selling that message will use it. The ambassador said the other day, if you remember, this is what the ambassador said, and this is where he's going. If you remember, when you start, every time you bring up story, you bring in the ambassador name, quoting the ambassador based on that talking point, Mr. So that I think will be so helpful to anybody, any of the surrogates. But you surrogate, you go now and you say, I think, no, that will be the wrong type. And CDC, the only good thing about it right now, CDC, they're not smart people. They're not smart. I can say that for sure. I can give them free advice. They're not smart. If they were smart, by this time. But look how much they put their foot in their own mouth again. Just today, the president went out of town. And Abachi, a person we have never heard from for months, out of a sudden he's going to attack the ambassador. You think you think somebody in a sign man would do something like that? You know, when the president is traveling, when we're supposed to be, he look presidential. He's going to oversee to meet with the King of England. And then you here attacking the ambassador of the United States, the man who been feeding you, giving you money, make your stomach fat and make yourself fat all over the place. Now you're gonna come here and kind of attack you after eating the man whole pepper soup. You finish drinking pepper soup.
You see, when you're in there, bro, he told it out, Mr.
No,
you
never. He told her that.
Why you guys want to let me finish my statement? Why will you not let me finish my statement? You sat down there, the man sent you $1 million, and you said that you eat all the food you want to eat. You eat goat meat, you eat cow meat, ride the people car.
Oh, you call it goat meat?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Abachi. Why you want to pull yourself inside now?
Every Saturday you kill goat. I'm gonna put a picture of all the
So I'm talking to Abache. That's something for people to know.
Samson told buy his own goat. Samson told buy his own goat. He's not getting it from the
we're not talking about something so good right now. Yeah, please. Why you want to dilute my statement? Such a beautiful statement. Yeah, you're coming in here. You want to chop it all down.
Yeah, just say you say anything in like bro. Just making observation.
A good point.
Okay,
Good point.
I don't think Amos Joy will be a favorite here, but there are a lot of conflicting information we are hearing. And let me just confront you because you are, I would say you're an insider. You talk to people. I don't know how often you talk to comments. Is it true we are hearing potentially, and I've never authenticated this news from any top inside source, Hassan Belite is pushing to be the number 2?
No, just take it up. I'm telling you, just take it up. Chunk it out through the window. I'm telling you, just chunk it up.
Okay. I'll take it for your word. I'll take it for your word. I'll take it for your word.
Listen.
Well, yeah, I come in.
Ain't no son when a child won't cry. So now the father look at the child long time. You will not told, get the eye, you will say, okay, pass away, why you want to say no? So that is it.
I cannot underestimate any political institution, any group, whether they are doing bad or ugly. I can't until I see the finishing line or the end. But let's ask this question here. The Lord now, Alexander Cummings, the CPP on edge in the sense that Joseph Boyka somehow jumped into this, and all eyes on Alexander Cummings with respect to his political decision, who he's going to pick.
Yeah.
In politics, there's something called cutting deals. Nyombli Kanga is still a factor in the sense that there are some other strong players who are in the column of Nyombli Kanga as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the issue here, what are the main thing here is she does not even have a partner in terms to be a leader with respect to the recent decision. But should the CPP or Alexander Cummings do the bravery partner and say, hey, I need your support, regardless what has happened. And if I'm elected, for example, as president, this is what I'm going to get. This is what you're going to get politically. Politicians like to cut deal. Her VP slot with the ambassador, that is off. But the position of pro tem is still hanging there. And whoever wins it, probably you can get that shot.
Yeah.
Should Cummings and the CPP, should they reach out to those people and see what can be arranged politically?
Yeah. I think there was a meeting on Monday. So
let's see.
Mr. Cummings said, just let me see what he mentioned in his speech, that they are reaching out to every Liberian. So Nyombli Kanga is a Liberian and she's from a political institution. So definitely they will be talking to everybody.
Is she on a consideration potentially for VP, you think? Are they having that conversation inside the CPP? To create a political havoc?
So let me say this. I'm telling you, the ANC, led by Mr. Cummings, the CPP, they are talking to everybody. Not just all the other political factions. I mean, a group, they are talking to them.
Including Nyombli.
I said they are talking to every political group in the country.
Be a little bit specific and not be too ambiguous here with my audience.
That's all I can tell you, Mr. So. They are talking to every political group, and just have Mr. Cummings reinforce that statement yesterday. They are talking
y'all will be in secret. Y'all will be in a secret society until Judge we are winning re-elect.
Mr. So,
my first time seeing they force Papa to be message discipline. You see the man, he had given nothing away. It's so amazing to see it.
You guys are interesting character on this level.
There are certain plans I run my mouth. Certain time I can't run it. So when you say you're a lawman, man, you know the thing. So, Mr. So, the panelist, Mr. Cummings did that yesterday, and he reinforced that message. The ANC is talking to all the other political groups in Liberia.
Where do you think they will really turn? You as a supporter, where do you think the CPP ANC will really turn?
I told you, they are talking to everybody. They are talking to every political group in the country.
Who is under consideration?
I told you they are talking to everybody in Liberia.
Why can't you just go ahead and plead the fifth?
I'm not pleading the fifth, Mr. Toa, and not like you.
Just go ahead and plead the fifth. Since you want to keep it secret.
No, I'm talking. I cannot plead the fifth because I know what I'm talking.
Is it confirmed? Because I mean, we know Ambassador Boyka's position now, and ANC is another factor.
Yeah.
Tiawan Gonglo, we? Is it part? I think they say what on the 13th they're gonna be having what a convention? Is that a convention? Second convention?
Ask the question.
I'm asking. I want to get the.
I don't know the details of that conference, so I can't speak to it.
But is that at night? Is that at 13 that they're gonna be? He's gonna be.
I am telling you, Mr. So, I do not have any information on convention, so I can't tell you anything. If I say so, I'll be lying to you. And which I don't want.
Speculate.
I will not speculate because I don't want the Liberian public radio to say they make and say they want. He say they want. No, I'm not tapa. I speak on what I know.
It's not easy to know.
If they make you police commander for Bonka,
forget it. George Toto passport will be seized.
Okay.
But let me just say, so y'all tell me on this thing. I was just going to say, this Samson told with vice president, tell your old man he got to be careful. Because if he put Jeremiah Kun too much, Jeremiah Kun will overshadow him, then there will be another Yogo. So he got to walk a fine line and carrying Jeremiah Kun to the public. They got to be message discipline. Jeremiah Kun, he should define the role of Jeremiah Kun and whether he will be brave enough to tell Prince Johnson, close the more small, trim it down a little bit, even when in the back, trim it down a little bit. Because I don't want to be defending you. Then my agenda will be covered by you defending you. So trim it down. So those are some of the advices for the Baka camp.
Mr. George, on a very serious note, the point you just made is a challenge to Ambassador Baka leadership. To be honest, is the way if Ambassador Baka will be successful to do what you're suggesting, that will show to all of us that he will be a good leader. So to have Prince Johnson to accept whatever the proposal that you're making here without really talking to him like what you're suggesting, but do it with respect, I think, and Prince Johnson to accept that, I think it will be a test.
Because is the thing. Prince Johnson will want to bully Joseph Walker. As sister stated that he did that the late Peter Nigel, that I made you. If you don't want to deal with me, I will show you who I am. Will Joseph Walker be man enough to stand up to Prince Johnson and say, look, I am the president of this country, I'm cutting the shot? Will he be able?
Do you think all of these conversations, you don't think they were held
behind the closed door? We want to see, and the cat out of the bed now. They can't order a bed now, so we'll see. Let them put a now they are introduced a vice president. Now I want to see the platform of the.
When you will introduce a vice president,
Mr. So, we are in consultation. At the appropriate time, it will be announced by Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. But what I can tell you. No, Musa Beze is running as representative in Nema County. That I can tell you. Okay?
Sisse, the darling boy in the midst of this whole political crossfire is Tiawanse Gonglo. The possibility of putting somebody Gary in Nema to make it a household ground is most likely, it's imminent. Will Alexander Cummings, the CPP, the ANC, would they take that ultimate gamble? Look, you know what? This guy got an extraordinary record. His sisters, you have the Gonglos there, and all of those people, everybody get their own follower. Are they reaching out with the Gonglo campaign, do you know?
But let me make one correction. Councillor Gonglo does not have an extraordinary record. Councillor Gonglo has the best record of everybody running for president in Liberia right now, bar none. So don't minimize my candidate with an extraordinary record. He's the best in the game right now.
He got an impeccable record.
Yeah,
So
impeccable. Don't make me take my student companion from my papa again. But anyways, having said that, Councillor Gonglo maintains that if he can find a candidate that can show that they're able to carry out the things that he stands for, he got no reason running. Because he's not just running because he wants his name on the ticket. He's running for an ideology. And so to that extent, Councillor Gonglo is willing and able to speak to anybody regarding a forward match for Liberia's future. If that happens to be Yambli Kanga Lawrence, if that happens to be Alexander Benedict Cummings, if that happens to be Jeremiah Kuhn, if that happens to be Joseph Yimambuakai and anybody, even including the president of the republic. Last time I even saw him sitting with Morba Malu and they were having a conversation. This is about how do we forge forward and move Liberia forward. So to that extent, I think we'll even be willing to have a conversation to make Joseph Yimambuakai our vice president if he's willing to.
Let's
we're still okay with that.
Let's see this.
You listen.
It's getting interesting. Sissy, I mean, not to interrupt you, but I just want to share this here quickly while we are on air. This is a text message coming in. I don't know where you're coming from. You try to rule out. We will validate the authenticity of this, and we want to see how it plays out. This is what an insider is saying here. For how long will we be talking? The ability wing of the CPP is pushing their chairman for the VP slot. Hold your peace. You were here in Atlanta, Georgia. You're shrinking, racking, and all of that. Yeah. Politics is all about interest. Prince Johnson
read your text. I'm listening.
Liberty Party wing, ANC are the two main contenders in the CPP. Now, is coming prepared to take ability, another son of Nima, while there's another segment of the LPP, they are also pushing their man Tiawon Gonglo. The possibility, I mean, Tiawon, he's a factor. We cannot undercut that as well. So there seems to be like a mistrust here now, and they are threatening if they can be politically accommodated, they might find other alternative. What that alternative is, we have no idea.
So you mean they seem to come and have their own American to all because the Unity Party had their own American to all you go. So we nothing. They can yell to and then leave.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, Tiawon Gonglo is willing and capable to talk to anybody about anything on the way to move Liberia forward. Now, I don't know if that has to do with him being the vice president. With somebody, I think a lot of conversations are being held. Like I said, we will consider making Alexander Cummings a vice president for us. We'll consider making Joseph Boakai a vice president for us. Matter of fact, we can even consider making Jeremiah Kuhn a vice president for Tiawon Gonglo. Whatever the situation is, the calculus is that will make Liberia move forward. We're willing to do that. Now, the Liberal says something, and I want to give a free gift to the Unity Party. The ANC is going to announce, and I think what the ANC ought to do is allow this thing to die down. This new Jeremiah Kuhn and then build out their momentum for their stuff. And right at the tail end of the going down of the Unity Party thing, you pick up. But please, this time, you don't bring no three Hebrew brothers something being anything here.
No.
You're building on that because Alexander Benedict Cummings stands a good chance of riding on the tail end of the decline of this momentum to have a huge bump and to be able to come out and reintroduce himself with a very good pick. Now, the United Party people, and Mr. Toh was saying this, and I'll learn real quick, about having a talking point. Look, if these people are not just lazy, if they've been watching what's been happening with Joe Biden here, if you watch all the Sunday platforms when these Democratic surrogates went up, there was one line they all kept saying after they said everything. They said, Joe Biden said, do not compare me to the Almighty. Compare me to the alternative. That's why he kept saying all along, when people say, oh, your post number, Joe Biden post number are going down, and you know he's less favorable, do not compare me to the Almighty. Compare me to the alternative. Because you know who the alternative is? In every poll, he's defeating Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's changing the narrative. There are 5 million people just got thrown at the border, blah, blah, blah. We understand that we're working on that. Do not compare us to the Almighty because we are not perfect. Compare us to the alternative. And I think this conversation that is started about Joe Boakai being old and getting Alexander Kuhn, Jeremiah Kuhn, and Jeremiah Kuhn with a Boyotike, whatever way they want to call it, there has to be a talking point about this. And they have to have that one line. You can go all around the world. Make sure you come back to that one line.
That's it.
Strike that point. But to the extent that we haven't seen that, even from the likes of Mo Ali and Amos Twer and these people, it means that they have not had that conversation, because this is something they should have been prepared for. Herod Costa gave them the gift of firing the first shot. They should have already been in the war room and had something rolling out right away coming out, but they don't have it. And my last free advice I give to them. After that, Johnny Jones O'Malley will be charging for it now.
Yeah, we'll be charging them, but we're trying to help them. But I always say,
we don't want help from you. We don't want help from you. No. Just keep your help. You're keeping your secret. Keep your help along with the secret. We don't want your help.
Sasinto, let me tell you, the only reason you see me slow down the Unity Party because we're all fighting for the same thing. It's just that we're taking different route. But the Mo Ali, the Amos Twer, none of them can do nothing. It was Costa who took that Kenya. None of them. The money they're receiving at Padawa, they're just eating it free.
From where?
Don't ask me. Because these are people who should be promoting.
You talk about something that we need to know, and you say I shouldn't ask you.
They forced them outside.
So then why you talk about it if you don't want me to ask you?
But and the same I told, and the same I say, yeah, the same can say no. Eh? The same I say, yeah, the same can say no. And Joseph Walker look at Benin at you and say, I think my man can't cause I can't Jeremiah. What happened to that one?
So
you running campaign tonight, or you here you here for us to unite and remove President Weah?
We want to move President Weah, but we're all taking different route.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you can come and then challenge.
I'm not anybody. I just seen the plane.
Actually, here before we go.
You think these people have been eating more early than the Amos Twer then? What is the message of that?
I was only leaving you guys.
Yes. Yeah, what is the message of that? Yes, send that speech. Send that speech. What is the follow up?
Okay.
So quickly, before we go, and this one here, and then you can make your closing statement. We are already over the time. And let me start with Mally Jones. Comments try to be the next guy. There was a parable. I still trying to figure out what the meaning of that parable. So one can make an educated guess, perhaps without calling his name. Maybe he making reference to Ambassador Boakai. Should he attack Ambassador Boakai?
Well,
I mean, your opponent is in the opposition belt that he's on the main challenger, or he should just play nice.
Yes. Before I answer that question, what I want to say here is that there is a problem in Joseph Boakai's scam right now. All the people, all the political bloc, the Costa bloc, the Yomley bloc, the Helen Johnson wing, and the ANC that did not attend this program, assuming they decide to translate their action into practical approach and decide to attack Joseph Boakai on the campaign trail, that would be a plus for CDC. If Costa decide to go on the attack, Yomley decide to go on the attack because they're all annoyed, and the unity wing of the party and the ANC, that is a serious problem for Joseph Boakai and his VP.
Do you think he will? Do you think he's going to do that?
Yeah, it's politics. Yeah, of course. It's obvious. It's politics. Okay, that would be a plus for CDC. CDPs will be very, very happy. If they don't do it, that would be good for Joseph Boakai. Okay? So back to right now, you realize that CDC is on the defensive right now. Okay? But I've been looking into the whole the opposition group to find out who is actively on the offensive right now. I think it's only Tiawon Gongoro. Yes. All the noise I've been causing in town there, Tiawon Gongoro have been to the Southeast movie. He's a smart guy. I come in now. And secondly, the issue of picking the VP. Let me tell you, Joseph Boakai had just laid a good platform for people to get experience before they appoint their next VP. All the noise around the other appointment here, ANC is picking cue from it. I'm sure they don't want to go pick somebody. It be like the Joseph Boakai story. All right? But my question to analyst Sese here is this. He made a point. He said his candidate is open, to a lot of negotiation. But if they can carry something for him, that can only happen when he's president. That's clear cut. All right? But my question to Sese here is this. When is the councilor going to appoint his VP?
They will not tell you.
But if you want me answer the man before you go, don't mind. I hear alone won't read through the tea leaves. I said my tea and left it alone. You want to come put it through tea leaves. We'll make our announcement before October 10th. The Liberian people can be assured of that.
Okay. But Mr. Moderator, to be frank with you, sincerely speaking, if I were in the ANC camp, if I were in the ANC camp, I would rather lobby for Councilor Gongolo so Nima Kante will be a scramble ground.
Will be Jakla.
That's it. Gongolo will be the best person for ANC. Thank you.
Let's keep it to the point. Sese, politics it's a rough game. Babies don't get in politics. You don't have toddler participating in political.
Why we call coming in and you say baby don't get in politics? What are you talking about, Mr. So?
But politics is not for children.
I said politics is not for children. Why
but we just call comments. We just come naming comment. Then you say baby not supposed to join politics.
It's dangerous, I swear. That's what he's driving to.
Well, he will not be a pepper in my mouth. Let he speak it for himself. And
you got more something to and you're in Morovia, you couldn't open your mouth. Then when you hear that you run your mouth.
Okay,
why you go to Japan?
Should he attack Ambassador Boakai, or he should be like a nice guy all the way to the end of this marathon?
No, I think what the ANC should do is to draw a contrast between Joseph Boakai's vision, his decision-making ability, with respect to his choice of VP and every other choice he's made when he was vice president to Ellen, and contrast that with look at the arrest, because that is the Joseph Boakai plan, the arrest. Look at that and contrast that with his plan and his vision for the country. I don't think an attack is necessary, but he needs to draw a contrast, because remember this, they're all vying for the same voters. The CDC got their group. So all of the opposition, they're scrambling for what they have and maybe take a few people from the CDC. So you can't go along agreeing and think you will get a vote. But you can't equally so go along attacking and burning down every town and village. That is, in Liberian politics, that might work in Monrovia, but when you start going outside where tradition holds steep, it might rub some people the wrong way. It might leave a bitter taste in some people's mouth. So you can say the difference, you can contrast, and that's what we've been doing with the LPP and Tiawon Gongolo. Is we contrast, we lay it bare and say, here is how we differ. Here is how the differences are. But we're not. I think the mistake they made was about that, and I'm going to put this out here. And again, the ANC can't beat me all they want. That colorless analogy was not necessary. I think it was ill advised. Whoever said that, whoever put that in Mr. Cummings' speech or told him about that, they shouldn't have done that, because now the point Cummings was trying to make was that you need agility, you need fortitude, you need strength, you need critical decision making to be president. When you hold a collar to brush on the fan, you gotta be careful before you call it unsafo. You have to be able to throw that collar and stay in your hand so you don't jump. I remember I used to go to Fakande. My first time making fun, throw the collar, jump from my hand, go, where the other side? You have to be able to hold that colors as you hitting thing and you brushing. And I think that is the point Cummings was trying to make. But now it's come down to people just making fun of it and say, oh, who got a village? The old man, the man who's 68-year-old, he say he's young boy, and the man who, almost 80, that the old man there, what a difference. The whole thing just got dragged to the border. So to answer your question, I don't think Alexander Benedict Cummings should be attacking. I think Alexander Benedict Cummings got enough information to lay a contrast that the Liberian people will be able to see and make a choice. Hopefully, in his direction, because that's what he wants. Okay,
let me bring in the Boyka, Ambassador Boyka supporters. And I think Sete put it into context. Maybe I just jumped above the speed limit. They are all from the opposition, and there's a competition here. They want something. And in order to validate your argument with the voters, you have to show strength. You have to also make yourself viable. Should this critical question be asked Ambassador Boyka? His unity party, that of the Helen Johnson Unity Party, where is he holding himself responsible with the Helen Johnson Unity Party, where he served in 12 years? And
we want a town hall meeting. We want a town hall meeting.
There you go. Yeah, it is.
Mr. So let me just say this. With respect to Ambassador Boyka, what I think need to be done. If I was incoming area, like says it correctly stated, not necessarily, Mr. Central Rai. If the way it says is correctly stated, not attack, but a contrast. That's for sure. But this is the time for the likes of Yakula, Kakura, what's her name?
Mariah,
the young lady. This is the time. This is the time, and the smart people around Cummings. This is the time for them to do their work. First thing is first. You go, like Sissy started doing that. You go into this Jeremiah Cone, because Ambassador Boyka has he has records. We know that. But you go into Jeremiah Cone representatives process, because he was a representative before he became senator. So there should be a lot in there. You go in and then dig out most of the stuff that you can bring out. Not the negative boyo stuff. That boyo stuff will not fly. Nobody will listen to it. But you go and bring in these stuff from the law making process. And when you're giving it to Cummings, don't speak the book. Ask the real market ground English. That's the kind of question you have. But people, let me read it to you. That man, I'm not saying that a decision making process role, but you look at it here and then you lay it out. You have to do it with respect. You have to do it with respect. You don't go and act like you're being rude. Now look at this color business here. If Cummings had put it the way he's supposed to put it, if he had done it correctly, nobody will make fun of it. Nobody will make fun of it.
Is he trying to make himself who he is? Not actually. Is that why? Is he trying to manufacture something here politically?
No. I think Cummings and his people did not expect this much publicity coming out of the selection process of Jeremiah Cone. And I would suggest that they were quite surprised. They were quite surprised. As a result, they're trying hard now how to not undo, but how to actually overdo whatever it is Dr. Ambassador Boyka has done, so that they themselves will be on top. But he's being on top. It comes with process and come with time. It comes with correct language to engage the people. It comes with the process of you coming in, being respectful at all times. and the language you use to describe your fellow Liberians. Those are things people will take into consideration. And sooner or later, there will be language that will be coming from Kumi that will click with the Liberian people. And the people who making fun now, Anthony Cassidy, then who making fun, they will not make fun anymore. Believe me, it will come.
Man, look, let me hear my ear about Anthony Cassidy then. What is the thing they're pushing for about Joseph Boakai? These are the well-level-headed people. What are they articulating about Joseph Boakai policy?
And that's the question I asked yesterday.
No,
why
I
up to now he has not even come up with some sort of a policy statement?
My man,
He's making fun.
What the policy? He all beyond Joseph Boakai. These are the people who are supposed to be out there, so we can ask them the question. How they were separating themselves from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Jeremiah Cohen was in the Senate. I think he was chairman, I think co-chairman or something on Ways and Means. The 63 concession that was passed on there, he was there. So we want to find out what was his role. And Mr. Comey said something yesterday. He said, look.
Hold on, Mr. Judge. Did you just hear what Amos Judge did? Mr. Comey said something yesterday. He's getting ready now to use whatever Comey said yesterday as a talking point. That's exactly my point. No, I'm trying to give you I told you that a few minutes ago, and you were there asking like you're some kind of a lawyer having me on a witness stand or something.
He said, I fixed things before. I have been there. Look at his record in Nigeria. Why didn't he was promoted from Nigeria to go to Kenya? From Kenya to London, America, because based on his track record. So he's somebody that I can let and say, I know Mr. Comey can do this. His business experience can encourage people, can assure businesses that if I come here, your assets will be protected. There will be rule and order, law and order in this country. That when someone try to do, you can go to court and seek redress. Past 12 years, we got some people today who money was squandered. They didn't get redress under the past government. Those are things we will be talking about. What is it? He said it the right way. I'm a village boy. To brush, and also old people going to brush. In the when you own now, the children got to do, you got to send your leave behind. They say when the sun come out, I will count the fine. I will take that half the water on the fine. I saw my people. I saw my uncle doing it. What that brushing is it is something that you have to be trained to do it. When I first once I go tap the car uncle not behind my tire. My uncle said, "What's wrong with you?" Because I didn't know how to do it. So what you were saying, to run Liberia or to do anything, you have to have energy. So, but the Unity Party people taking that's an insult to the old people. These people talking to somebody, some of to say we're not from the village too. When your uncle or pa get old, do he go and find the brush again? They're talking to say that we don't know nothing about the village. We just maybe we're born in Morovia. They are now running with it. Give it to them. Where we are now, it is a contrast we want to see. We will not be asking, I will be asking my people. Let the ANC, you can't work on a policy. So we can start looking at it. The Unity Party people, you can't work on a policy. CDC's part will know that one already. So that one we don't talk about it again. So that's why I will be talking. But I don't think Mr. Comey will be the person to be vigilant to go after Joseph Boakai. No. And because sometimes people want this thing to happen, but he will not go down that route to start insulting that old man. No. What he want to do now is to set the difference. The 12 years and the present, what we can put forward to the Liberian people, that's what we'll be talking about. And Mr. Comey has started already. That one, you see, they call him the fixer. Because he know how to
Who new name is that?
Mr. Comey, the fixer.
Fixer what?
He will fix Liberia.
Huh?
He will fix Liberia.
Oh, okay.
You know they got rescue 1, rescue 2, so they didn't see that fixer 1, fixer 2.
Yeah.
A fixer upper, you know about old rotting horses.
And then the president is what? Barrow Medicine?
Barrow Medicine.
Barrow Medicine. Barrow Medicine 1 and Barrow Medicine 2.
2, yeah.
So tier 1 would be who?
Broom 1, Broom 2.
Broom 1, Broom 2.
My man, we're not participating in that foolery with naming stuff. But by the way, Mr. Josh,
you said the president. No, Mr. So you said the president was invited for the colonial ceremony. But I saw a list. I see Liberia name on it.
But the man going there. But I ain't need on it. Ain't need on it. There.
Who called the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Don't ask me.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs said no current.
Okay. All right, guys. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening. And I think hopefully I want Comey now to call to make his pick so that we'll look at the policy.
Mr. So
look at the policy.
I can tell you the pick of Mr. Comey.
Mr. Hassan Belete.
Don't put me in trouble. I got no rash.
So, okay, so let me say this again in this public. We would love to we would love to hear from the council. Can you do anything possibly we can?
I'll make some phone
one of
calls
the
tomorrow.
campaigns reached out.
The council is busy right now. Council is on a tour.
I'll make some phone calls tomorrow.
Is that why are you just all over the place?
The only thing we can say is that when he's in the countryside, network is hard, but we were trying to make a point. If he can get a network, we'll get you while he's in the countryside, because I think it will make a lot of sense to have an interview while he's in the countryside, not always in Monrovia. Even if we're having that lag, at least we'll understand what our people go through in the countryside. But I'll make some phone calls, Mr. So, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach out with folks at the Unity Party. They are Big Dog, the new guy, for us to have because I think we must focus, or you have to redirect the electorates now to focus on these issues that we need to focus on. And we in the media industry, it is our responsibility to set these agendas as well. Their policy, what they represent, who they are, what is the alternative that they are bringing? Is it just, let me remove president, and they come back with the same thing? Because all of these people, some of them were part of CDC, they left, they went by, they didn't see their way, they jumped, they have joined other party, and we'll see this thing playing out.
Why are you wearing red tonight? And the only thing that is left is the red beret. Why are you wearing red tonight? So the only thing that is left now is the red beret, and I really don't understand that.
Prince Sharif mail one to the man. Prince Sharif,
I think so.
This is why this is the problem here. For every time we try to focus something, Liberal is always in the tendency to distract and to cause some sort of drama on this network. I think he's almost like the Kev Hassan on this network, but we are not giving him the chance.
But the man degree can be verified, and so don't put in the same group with Kev Hassan, please.
You know what, gentlemen, the show finished. You go because it go there.
But on a serious note, before you leave, check in the chat. I just post some opposition research stuff there. Click on that. Amos George, I hope y'all can read that. I don't want to say it because I want opposition solidarity, but y'all gotta be careful when you're touting this Coca-Cola thing to have a way to push back on some of those things. Look in the group, in the stream y'all chat.
I still saying from what I see, is he finding it difficult to establish his own identity?
No, I think for me, I think
Comey message have been consistent.
I'm not saying message.
It's not the message that has the problem. I think the way Liberians look at Comey is he must do it. He must be it at all means and at all costs. That's how Liberians seeing this guy here. They think they want back home. They want
anybody who wants something to succeed in life.
No. It's not like that. There's a saying in Liberia what they call Abu Kiri. That's how people see.
The guy used to go to Roxy and let me say, you want Abu Kiri Chinese show? Yeah, you heard about gentlemen. Let's leave it there. Good night.
You say Abu Kiri, but your old man is insisting that he must be president. He not Abu for it.
Already. This is my time.
Okay, guys. Good night. Thank you.
This is my time. Like, bro, got time for anybody. Susu Club.
Okay, we'll see. Good night.
Good night. They're not Susu Club. That's my time.
Good night.
We're not doing Susu.
Yes, guy. I don't think you can campaign for anybody for them to get a vote. You can't campaign for anybody to get a vote. This what? Okay, guys. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening and for all of the time here. If this is your first time on Liberia Public Radio, we say thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. If for any reason we did not meet your political criteria in terms of our talking point, well, sometimes that's how we do it. Sometimes we get there, sometimes we don't. Nothing is guaranteed on this network. We try to keep it proportional, fair, balance, and becomes a little bit critical by not just diving into your own political talking point, because it is about the country. And we do understand the diversities in the country as well. But overall, we must have these critical conversations. It doesn't matter who you support. You have the right to choose who you want to support. But we must have the courage to ask these critical questions. Why political institutions are not surviving in Liberia first and foremost? Why Mr. A alone has left one party, 3, 4, 5 multiple parties? It matters that we see their track record, the good, the bad in that party. Is it the same thing they are bringing into the other political institution? So what is the difference? What are we looking for? What do we really want to see happening in our country? Are we getting the message? Do we know those people? Do we know their foreign policy? Do we know their domestic policy? Do we know their educational agenda, their infrastructure development plan for the country? The healthcare, agriculture, how can we make our country be sustainable? The day of Samuel Doe, there was a green revolution. The nation must feed herself. Who is willing to reawaken that spirit, and how can that be achieved? Who has the agenda? The media should set the agenda. We must compel these people, because when we leave them alone, they will drive their own talking point. This is why they are invested heavily into this media industry, and financial violence is being deployed so that we'll be distracted. And this is why they have their little chihuahua here going all over the place. They don't keep the conversations. They shield them. They don't go to any other outlet. They speak with a specific segment of our Liberian society, the Liberian population, or people who will speak their language, their tongue, because they speak in a very extorted and political tone that is understood by the few. For that, many are left in cold. How can we override that? How can we undo that? How can we undercut that? We are in the process of making a consequential lifetime decision. Two major branches of government at stake. One going for 6, some going for 9, some going for 4, whatever the Constitution says. They will be our power. They will be our Anthony. They will be making lifetime decisions for us, whether we like it or not, whether we voted for them or not, whether we are partisans of them. When they go in the House, they will be making decisions for us. They will be representing our constituencies. For anyone to say, I don't want to be part of this conversation, me, I'm tired with this thing here, be not deceived. Because directly, indirectly, it's going to impact you of their political decisions. And this is why we must have these critical conversations. And this is why we must ask these people critical questions. There is no question that is stupid. There's no question that is foolish. You're at liberty to plead the fifth. One of the young persons that I'm seeing, and his agenda is visible, is Dr. Clarence I. Moniba. Well, what has been written, what I will be perfected into reality or into actions if elected president, that's another conversation that we can have. But the fact of the matter here, there's something that we can hold people to what they represent. It is inconsequential to suggest, to say, let's remove this government. Let's move these people. They are not doing this. They are not doing that. Yes, very understandable, clear, crystal. But when you take a candy, a lot of part from a child, there must be a replacement so that child can roll or spin on the floor. And that's what we want to know. And how those things can be done. Other countries, their opposition, major opposition, guess what? When they are in the race, They travel the West, the East, the South, meet other world leaders and discuss the future of the country. They begin to lobby. They begin to show strength as they are presidential material. I would like to see the Cummings, the Boyka, the Gonglo, the Magdala, and all of those that are contestant. I'm not going to call the president name. He's the incumbent. He's already in the fries. But I want to see people having conversation with equal leaders, war leaders, and calling on them to make sure that the elections go ahead as planned for Liberians to exercise their constitutional franchise. When we begin to see that, when I begin to see opposition, when I begin to see potential leaders meeting all other world leaders, neighboring in the West, ECOWAS leaders, AU leaders, there is an indication that they are connecting with the war today. That's what I want to see happening. Not just only on LPR spoon, closing argument, final argument. No. I want them to be like Bobby Wine of Uganda. When he was contesting, sit before Al Jazeera and telling the rest of the world, validating his political argument to the rest of the world why Uriah Museveni should not be re-elected. I want to see them on ABC News, CNN, BA Fox, CBS, and other major cable network, so that the name Liberia will be elevated, that it will be the talking point on the world stage. Don't just come to LPR, don't just go to Spoon. No, we got to get ourselves out in the air so that tomorrow or day after, when you are elected, you will not be like a wandering stranger. That's what we want to see. And so on this network, unfortunately, feelings, sentiment is not the portion. We are not the favor of that. This is what we reach out to all of these, all of them, all. It's at their own volition to accept their invitation. Our job is to extend them the invitation. And it is their responsibility, and they have the right to accept or refuse as well, because it's about them. But we have to talk it, and we have to say it louder and louder. We do have shared responsibility with respect to what is unfolding in the country. As a Liberian, whether you are in or you are out. What is the alternative? Why should we trust you with state power in the first place? Why? Is it a sort of contest? Or is it like an entitlement? Or because you meet a set requirement? There must be a motive. There must be a cardinal reason. There must be a vision how you want to drive the country. What is happening now that when you are elected on your watch, the issue of corruption is still being unresolved. They have a graduate. We all thought they're going to be a done deal. There was a confession. No car was squandered. They took responsibility. $5 million from the Abraham award was given to the president. The government of Liberia, taxpayer, no compensation, nothing. The former president of this country, for whatever reason, you saw that in the debate. He was smart. He was a smarter guy, and so he got away with IRS and defrauding literally the country. Guess what? The law is holding him responsible today. So while Helen Johnson Sirleaf and all of those who has abused national resources and government using their power, their authority, who is willing, if George Weah and the CDC government is unseated today, who is willing to ask for explanation? Or is it in the sense Liberian our syndrome in the diaspora here, We have this organization, one person go and squander and take it. Oh, we are the same people that leave it, we are the family. Is that what coming? Or people should be held accountable, no matter your position, no matter who you are, age, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Or we just want to throw somebody in the executive mansion because we need to have somebody there. They need to be held accountable. If we don't do that, and for those of you who took side, which is okay, you will come back here tomorrow and tell us, knowing what I know now, you knew it, but you on purpose, deliberately, because of your own personal, something that you know that it is in it for you at the end of the day. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised by 20 whatever time, we're going to see different new political parties surfacing again. Because these political parties, they are self-centered. They are not institution. So they just center around single person. No political ideology. Nothing. Nothing. No commitment to party. So the goes in anytime they open the door, they get out, and whatever the breeze blow, then that's where they find themselves, and they are accommodated. We are saying that over and over and over. And there's nothing to suggest that it wouldn't still happen. It will still happen. So please, let us not gamble our country, because something is in it for you. What we will leave here this evening. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. By God's willing, we'll be back here at same time, same station tomorrow with more talking point. All eyes on Alexander Benedict Cummings of the ANC. Will there be any game changer? I have no idea. We are waiting to see which direction Alexander Cummings will go. Before we go here, let's leave you with some of great folks. Leadership is no longer your positions. It is now more about the passion for excellence and making a difference. You can lead without a title, or maybe lead with function. So it's not about the title, no. And that's what we miss. That's the mark we are missing. Ruben Sherman. Until then, I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio 10 LPR-TV with the analysts. You are the best. Thank you for your time this beautiful wet East Coast, in the East Coast. If this is the first time, please follow our Facebook page, our YouTube, our LinkedIn, and our Twitter feed, where you will get a notification. Make sure you click on the icon, the bell icon, and select all notification. In that event, you will get an immediate alert when Liberia Public Radio is on. If you are in the diaspora, you are in Liberia, we also do public relations, which promote your businesses, your conventions, your homecomings, or whatever major gathering. It doesn't matter where your locations, in Liberia, in Europe, on planet Earth, whatever you are, as long as you are accessible to internet. Let us know. Call on 682-433-8802, or you can also email at Liberia Public Radio 2012@gmail.com. If there's no way, we will find it. Leave your comment, your tweet. We wholeheartedly appreciate your civility at all times on this network. You are at liberty to disagree with our talking point. And we do respect that. And we admire that. And guess what? Your comments, your tweets, your interactions with your peers, disagreement, political argument, exchange of intellectual discourse is so rewarding. I personally go back and read all of those comments. And I guess what? It's so impactful, it's so knowledgeable to this network. And we build on that to enhance our capacity in qualitative broadcasting. Free, fair, and balanced. Views, comments, callers expressed on this network does not in any way represent the view and management of the Liberia Public Radio, but we do facilitate this high call, unbearable conversation for the good of the country and for democratic process to prevail. Until then, I'm Alfonso Zeensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Thank you so much for being part of our program here today. Bye-bye.
Mama, grandma, don't be mad, 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 about the bubble, don't be mad about the bubble, don't be mad about the bubble, if you know
government, it did not meet your core values?
I resign. Before I resign, I issue a 13-page press statement. It's on the internet. If you check, you'll find it. And then the president subsequently called me back into government because at that time, she had sent all the cabinet ministers home for 2 weeks compulsory leave. I was one of those that she called back. And I said, no, I'm not coming back into your government because what I believe you will do is not what you are doing. This country went into civil conflict and over 300,000 people were killed because of bad governance. And I see the same thing
happening,
being done by you. The same thing is happening.
That's why you told the president?
Yes, in a conversation with her. And I said, thank you, but I'm not coming back to the government. Anything good in Liberia. Louis Brown was National Security Advisor to Charles Taylor, man. That was the time I was tortured.
This seems to me ANC now.
Let them be redeeming themselves. They laid the foundation for the suffering that is happening today. No. It's not in good faith. Isn't it the same Louis Brown who said to President Salif, Kennedy president, that no one since 1847 has so desecrated the executive mansion equal to President Kennedy, Ellen Johnson Salif. It was not even a month after he was appointed to be Minister of Information for that same President Salif. And he was propagating everything. When he was asked by the journalist, he said, you know, when you are far from President Salif, you see a bad woman. When you come close to her, you see a good person. That sounded very opportunistic to me.
For being here, and especially in these difficult times, I thank the Liberian people for their kind attention. All over this country, in every village and town, across every region and community, from mosques to churches, from markets to schools, from prisons to hospitals, across all political parties, ministries, agencies, and institutions of the government. No Liberian needs me to tell them that things are bad and only getting worse. Sadly, President Weah and few of his